Hawaii. Stay 7 nights at the Outrigger Waikiki Beachcomber Hotel, October 31st through November 7th for just $1,780 per person. Call Travel at 492-5000 or online at travelgroup.com.
Windows can quiver, dogs get excited, plants duck for cover. Small children climb into beds between their parents.
Mother Nature treats North Dakota a little different than most states. She likes to show us her power, and honestly, she's pretty awesome.
Springtime in North Dakota can change quickly with thunderstorms swooping in and spitting water bullets like a machine gun.
If your windows and doors are older, you'd be surprised how much energy you're losing and how much money you could be saving.
We'd love to show you windows and doors that will improve the beauty of your home and are more energy efficient. I'm Andrew, the manager of the Window and Door Store in Fargo.
And I'm Jaden. Our team of window and door specialists will meet you anywhere and whenever it works best for you.
Every single homeowner we've sold windows to got our lifetime guarantee on the installation of their windows. We'll give it to you as well.
Call us and schedule a no obligation, no pressure estimate. Even if you only want 1 or 2 windows, we'd love to show you our windows and doors.
The Window and Door Store in Fargo. Better windows, better doors.
Kansas. A night to remember. Kansas, live. With the music that helped make rock classic. Friday, April 28th, Shooting Star Casino Hotel and Entertainment in Mahnomen. On sale now at starcasino.com.
It's the Cash for Cars event at Gateway Chevrolet. All makes, all models. Sell your ride today. Whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles, Gateway Chevrolet will buy it. Cars, trucks, and SUVs get cash today. Gateway Chevrolet needs good, clean, used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Sell your ride today, whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Gateway will buy it. The Cash for Cars buying event today at Gateway Chevrolet in Fargo.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
At the NFL's annual league meeting in Arizona, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said with quarterback Brock Purdy being injured, Trey Lance will have the opportunity to regain the starting role. Shanahan also said the team will have a better idea of Purdy's return date once Purdy can begin throwing in early June, the general expectation being that Purdy would return sometime between weeks 1 and 4 of the season. Packers coach Matt LaFleur spoke about Aaron Rodgers, saying he's got nothing but love and appreciation for what Rodgers has done for so many in the organization. Commanders coach Ron Rivera said the team never looked into adding Lamar Jackson. Rams coach Sean McVay said the team has interest in bringing back receiver Odell Beckham Jr., but also admitted there are a lot of other teams interested as well. In the NBA, Wizard star Bradley Beal is being investigated by Orlando police over a post-game incident with a fan who claimed to have lost a bet following Washington's loss to the Magic last Tuesday. I'm Nick Cope.
This is The Insiders, taking you inside the lines and behind the scenes of NDSU and around the region.
I hang heavy on your thoughts because you are the Bison gods.
That should be a penalty.
The Insiders.
Do you have any other questions?
You know it.
The Insiders are presented by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed.
Okay, so what are you saying?
These guys do an unbelievable job, and tune into The Insiders.
I did have one. I do not apologize for taking it out of the six-pack.
First thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere.
The Insider. The Insider. The Insider.
The prices were that shocking. I wasn't listening. I'm an old soul.
Now, here are the Insiders.
Well, we're waiting.
Wait no more, back with you. It is the Insiders. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen. Time for another 2-hour tour of some sports talk on your Tuesday. A blustery, snow-filled Tuesday once again. Woke up and saw more of that white stuff on the ground. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to choose to pretend like it didn't happen. That's the way I'm going to go about it. Andy, Kyle, Micah, all in the Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center with you today. Fun show ahead. Want you to be a part of it as well. Make sure you are watching. The stream is up. ready to go. Micah got that thing cranked up right at the start of the show today. You can watch our show live on the Horsch Cam, Horsch, Farming with Passion, online at Horsch.com. You can listen to us on our free Bison 1660 mobile app, powered by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Phenomenal company jumping on board with us on that free mobile app. You can download on your app store today, or you can listen to us there on the radio on 1660 AM, 92.7 FM in the local area as well, or anywhere on our website as well, bison1660.com. Welcome on in. Looking forward to it. A lot of things to get to. More spring ball continues to roll on. Another practice they had yesterday. More stuff going on throughout the week. Obviously, Pro Day coming up tomorrow. Maybe a little preview of that, what we're looking for, who you think can maybe impact their stock the most, and who's maybe got the most already, hay in the barn, so to speak, at this point of the process. Talk a little Pro Day for you as that starts tomorrow in the morning. Another reminder, we will be live from NDSU Pro Day tomorrow with the Insiders from 10 to 1, extra hour for you as well, as you got 8 former Bison looking to make their mark on what hopefully is going to end up being all 32 NFL teams represented in some shape or form. I think last I had heard there was something around, I think it was 28 teams, and we're hoping to get a few more in there. A lot of them come in the week of, so expecting hopefully all 32 teams once again at NDSU's Pro Day for guys like Cody Malk and Hunter Lipke and Noah Gindorf and Michael Tutsi and Destin Talbert and so on and so forth. I can name them all if you'd like me to. Spencer Wagey, Nash Jensen also on there. There you go. Those are the 8. I think I got them all. I'm pretty good at that.
Did you get them all?
I think I did.
I think it was 7.
Was that 7?
I don't know. I was still looking at my masters, trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you're very well tuned in. Mike is doing his research. He's even hiding where his research is from. You ask him, where'd you look up those stats? I don't know. I'm going to tell you where I looked up my stats because I want to keep this info for myself. And it's kind of getting nasty. It's getting a little bit of animosity inside the studio. I don't know if I like that.
We all know Mike is just going to pick. He's going to pick Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm because those are the 3 favorites.
Yep.
Never. I'd never pick Rory at the Masters.
Never.
I'd
he had
never
second last year.
I'm not
Solo
picking him.
second.
I'm not picking him.
All right.
Well, now I know if if Rory's there, I don't have to pick Rory if Mike is right behind me. So it works out perfectly.
I mean, he has struggled there. That is the one major he has not won. But like we said, he I don't know if he broke a record, but it was like I think he broke a Sunday record last year for lowest round on a Sunday. At
Chipped
Augusta.
out of the bunker.
Yeah, he shot like a 64, 63, something like that. I mean, he wasn't even close, and then he finished solo second.
Now, on our PGA Picks Masters edition that is live on our website, you do have to place the person in the correct spot. So it wouldn't matter where you put Rory then. But with us, what we're going to be doing next week with Chris and John from Bob 95 and 3 of us, you just need someone that finishes high. So you don't need a winner. So you get Rory finishes second. That's great for your team.
Right.
So.
But is the pressure going to get to him? Is he going to miss the cut like he did at the Players? I mean, that he did make some equipment changes and it looked good last week. I will say that at the match play. But I guess if Micah's not on, I might take him.
Go for it.
I don't know if I trust him, though.
I'm not going to give away my strategy yet. So my strategy really is I don't know. That's why I'm not going to give it away yet. So.
Technically, the field isn't even set.
Exactly. Why would you be coming up with all the research now? Got to watch this week.
I mean, there's
Valero, baby.
I don't know the exact rules, but obviously if you win, you're in, and maybe top 2 get in. I'm not sure, but yeah. I mean, and then if you get inside the top 50. So
somebody like Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler could get in, and I think maybe a couple more, but like for the most part, the field is set.
For the most part, the field is set, and that field will include Tom Hoagie.
Yes, it will.
Back at the Masters again. Look at that. That's awesome. So looking forward to that again. If you didn't hear it yesterday, another reminder for you today. Maybe you heard the promos or seen some of the posts on Facebook, but we have our PGA Picks up. It's a new giveaway opportunity for all of you throughout the entire summer, really, because it's going to be all 4 majors. But the first one, of course, is the Masters, not this weekend, but next weekend. You can go to our website, bison1660.com, and you can sign up for our Masters giveaway. Your chance to win a free 30-day pass to Golf Addiction in Fargo, the only place you can really go golfing because there's no chance you're going outside anywhere anytime soon. So Golf Addiction, phenomenal spot here locally. They've partnered with us to give away a free 30-day pass. All you got to do is pick your top 8 finishers at Augusta. Whoever gets the most right in the correct spot for the top 8 will win that free 30-day pass. And you also got to give us the score prediction for the winner. Try to go score to par. I know we've seen some people have signed up to say like 278 or something. I'm not very good at math, so instead let's just go like 25 under or 20 under or whatever you want to go under.
Over.
Maybe 2 over is the winning score. Maybe that's
usually
the winning score.
not, but it could be.
And so you put your winning score that way in the sign-up sheet there if you can, so I don't have to do math, because really that puts your chances of winning at stake. Because now you're counting on me to do math, and nobody wants that.
So if it's I think it's par 72. I'm not sure. So that would equate to 288. Would be even par.
Okay, so someone's saying like 270. We're thinking 18 under.
18 under.
Okay, so there you go.
Which would be close to the record. I think the record's 20 under, set by Dustin Johnson
in November. Does that really count?
We're giving away too many hints.
Too many hints. Well, we're just trying to help the people out there.
True.
And we're going to help them out the rest of this
I can't
week.
actually win. So.
Well, you can have bragging rights, though. You can enter it and say, Kyle won it, but he doesn't win anything.
Still going to enter it.
Yeah, of course. So make sure you do that. And if you win the free 30-day pass from Golf Addiction, you're also put into a drawing to win a free golf bag. Brand new golf bag from our friends there at Golf Addiction. We'll give that away after all 4 majors are done. And if you don't win one of the majors, you still have a chance to enter that giveaway for the golf bag as well. We're going to have 40 other passes for a free hour at Golf Addiction that we give away throughout the summer. More info on that later this week when we talk to Adam Scott. No, not that Adam Scott, but Adam Scott of Golf Addictions, one of the owners of it. It's kind of strange, a guy that owns a golfing company, Adam Scott, golfer, that kind of thing. But he will join us later this week to kind of go over the giveaway and also preview the Masters a little bit. We're trying to give you guys some insight so you know who to pick for your top 8 when it comes to the Masters. And sign up for that will close, obviously, next Thursday. But you can go to the website, bison1660.com, look for the Masters giveaway graphic, and you can just sign up right there. Or you can see it on Facebook and Twitter. We posted some stuff up there as well.
And if you need some insight, Micah has all the stats. I think he's already been looking at them all up now, but he's formulating these stats based on what he thinks is important at Augusta. So take that for what you will.
Yep.
He says, according to Micah, that driving doesn't matter. Micah, is that
fairways
correct?
Don't matter.
Fairways don't matter.
It does not matter, because if you don't make the fairway, you just have to be a really good scrambler, because you want to avoid big holes and just big mistakes at the Masters. You can't have that double bogey. You can't have that triple bogey. It just ruins your entire round, and then you're rattled.
Augusta is probably a place where, better than some, like if you miss, pros would rather hit out a pine straw than deep rough, and there's a lot of pine straw. Now you do have to navigate some trees, but I would tend to agree with you. I think you can miss the fairway more at Augusta than other places and still hit some crazy heroic shots and be okay.
I think it was Vijay Singh like 3 or 4 years ago. Very first hole of the first round at the Masters, he got like a 10. And that's just, I think he missed like 5 putts from inside a foot. Just kind of lipped out and was like, okay, we're 1 hole in and my Masters is done. We're done. We're finished. We're over.
Tiger famously, not really, so that year in 2020, so after the year after he won, he had a 10 on, can't remember if it was 12 or 13. It was one of those where there's water right in front of the green, and he just kept putting in the water. I think it was the only 10 he's ever had in his career, actually.
There you go. Happens to the best of us, right?
Yes,
so that's something me and Tiger Woods have in common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much like Tiger Woods
as well.
Yeah, very much like Tiger Woods in that regard. Although most times I'd say 8's my max. Just take the snowman,
you
right?
You say double it. So if it's a par 5, you could get a 10.
You could get a 10 then at that point. But that never happens to me. Par 5s, I get there in 3, and I 3 putt and I get a 6.
Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Plenty of things to talk about today on the show, though. Looking forward to it. Again, sign up for our Masters giveaway there on our website, bison1660.com. Still updating you on the bracket challenge as well with Jim Beam and On the Rocks Premium Cocktails. They've got the Old Fashioned, the Cosmopolitan, the Espresso Martini, and the Margarita. You finish in the top 10, you get a chance to win some of On the Rocks Premium Cocktails. And if you finish first, you're going to win some Jim Beam as well and a rolling cooler from Jim Beam. That contest has been a ton of fun. So thanks to everybody that entered and participated in our Bison 1660 Bracket Challenge. Definitely been a crazy year in the NCAA tournament. Talking about college basketball, one team that was in the NCAA tournament, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. They were the Summit League representative as the 12 seed against the 5 seed Duke in the first round. Kyle picked them to win 2 games. So, of course, that means they lost their first game there against Duke. The play-by-play voice of ORU, Adam Hildebrandt, will join us one more time on the program for our Summit League Shootaround, brought to you by Todd Cadamus with Beyond Realty. And we'll talk about ORU, their game there, their game against Duke, how that one went, and why they weren't able to advance. But also, big news about their program since then, that Paul Mills, their head coach, has moved on. He is no longer the coach of the Golden Eagles. It will be Paul Mills at Wichita State. He is now a Shocker. And Russell Springman, longtime assistant or associate head coach, is now their next head coach at Oral Roberts. Talked to Adam about the coaching change there. I saw as well that the 30-year-old Deshang Weaver is now in the transfer portal. And yes, it's a joke, but the dude's been there since I've been in school, so it seems like and I'm 29, about to be 30, so I would guess he is about to be 30 as well, because their whole team has been there for way, way too long, it feels like. But Deshang Weaver into the transfer portal. I would think as well you're going to see the end of Max Asmus at ORU, maybe a few others that have been there for a long time.
Eligibility?
I heard at the Summit League tournament he still got eligibility. I think Adam has told us before that the whole team could come back. The entire Vanover, everybody, they could all come back, but the likelihood was pretty low. And now that Paul Mills is also gone, you feel like, okay, the band's going to be broken up a little bit here for a little while. It doesn't mean they're not going to be good. It just means it's going to be different names next year, including a new head coach. So we'll talk to Adam about all of that stuff, and you can ask him about the eligibility and who's coming back for ORU at 11:30.
It is kind of impressive how many guys they were able to keep around, and then they bring in Vanover. They obviously had some success in the transfer portal as well. But yeah, in the age of transfer portal, the fact that Asmus has been there for however many years, 19 at this point, I think, something close to that. I mean, it's kind of impressive. But yeah, it seems like it's tough these days for a mid-major when you get some of these studs, especially when you get exposed. Now, Asmus, that's why he's kind of the outlier, right? Like he's been exposed. He's been in the NCAA tournament a couple times and still stayed around.
He was like a national player of the year type of player and stayed at ORU for 2 years after that. And that's one of the things that was shocking to me, because Kevin O'Banner didn't. After they made their long run in the NCAA tournament, he left and went to Texas Tech, and Asmus stayed at ORU. I don't know if that helped or hurt him in terms of his future. We'll have to wait and see, but that was his decision. I love it. I would love more players who have success at the mid-major level say, this is the team that took a chance on me. They're the ones who have made me who I am. I'm going to stay here and fight it out. But I also get the other side of it, because look at Baylor Shireman of SDSU, left the school that brought him in and trusted him and believed in him, went to Creighton, and what'd they do? They went to the Elite Eight. So I get it from both sides, and obviously there's a lot of money being thrown around in college athletics as well. But it shocked me, but I was all for Max Asmus sticking around and staying at that school where he got his college career underway. So 11:30 today, we'll talk with Adam Hildebrandt. Also at noon, Jory Collins, head coach of the NDSU women's basketball team. Haven't talked to the coach since the season wrapped up in the WNIT against the Oregon Ducks. Historic season for the women's basketball program. Definite steps in the right direction, but we'll have the head coach on mainly to talk about the women's Final Four that is now set after last night, as Virginia Tech and South Carolina, 2 1 seeds, both move on. South Carolina against the 2 seed Maryland, a back-and-forth affair. Maryland really made it close through the first half, and then South Carolina kind of pulled away in half number 2. And then Virginia Tech, who outlasted Ohio State, handled the pressure really well. Really close game for 3 of the 4 quarters, but the third quarter was all Virginia Tech, and that's what has the Hokies moving on to Dallas as well, as it will be those 2 teams. And then you also will throw in Iowa against South Carolina, which is going to be, that's like appointment viewing television for me. Caitlin Clark, who I think is the player of the year and maybe the most exciting player in all of college basketball. Those Iowa Hawkeyes against the defending national champs, undefeated South Carolina, and the number 1 overall seed there, and Aaliyah Boston, everything she can do. And then on the other side, you have Virginia Tech as a 1 seed and LSU a 3 seed, who Kyle asked me yesterday, how was LSU a 3 seed? They had 2 losses all year. And I kind of agreed with you a little bit, so we can ask Jory Collins about that. He probably knows a little bit more than both
Maryland
of us.
had 6 losses, I believe. Last night was their 7th, if I saw that correctly. Now, I know it's not. It's about who you lose to and who you beat, and I understand there's a lot more that goes into it than just wins and losses. But a team that's like, they finished the regular season like 29-2, and they were a 3 seed.
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
Yeah, only 2 losses, and one of those losses was to the number 1 overall team in the country in South Carolina. And you're thinking, okay, well, that shouldn't count too much against you, but yeah, I guess it counted a little. They're still a 3 seed, still a pretty good seed, right? But a 3 seed, not one of the 2 seeds, and LSU maybe proving some people wrong and making it to the Final Four. It should be I think 2 phenomenal games on the women's side as well. I'm excited for both of them, and that's the easy answer, the cop-out answer. I think a lot of people are asking the question, which one's going to be more exciting of a Final Four, the men's or the women's? I will say this. I think you're going to have record-high ratings for the women's Final Four because Caitlin Clark is she's a name that people know.
Best player versus best team. I think everyone loves to see that, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Caitlin Clark, probably unanimous. Most people would agree. Best player in the country. South Carolina, obviously the best team in the country, undefeated. That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah, and I think there's still some fans out there that don't watch as much college women's basketball, maybe don't know as many of the names, but Caitlin Clark's a name everybody knows. She's household.
She's Kevin Durant was tweeting about her.
Exactly.
All LeBron, I don't know, all the
Steph
NBA
Curry,
guys
all of them, they all
her,
do. And she's phenomenal, and she's a magician on the basketball court. I think she's very similar to what Steph Curry was at Davidson. I mean, she can make it from anywhere, and when she gets hot, it's very hard to stop her. Not just scoring the basketball, but assisting as well. Had a 40-point triple-double in their Elite 8 game to advance to the Final Four, which is the first time that's ever been done in the tournament, men's or women's side of the bracket. You have her against South Carolina and going for the repeat, which is not done all that often. And then you got 2 great teams there on the other side of the bracket as well. I think on the men's one it's going to be good too for a different reason. I think you got some Cinderellas. You got some teams that haven't been out there. There's a lot of people who think this is going to be record low ratings. That's not as many people going to be interested because there aren't blue bloods. There's a sentiment out there that people love the Cinderella early. They love upsets early, but they love blue bloods late, and that's what they tune in for. I still think you're going to get a lot of people that tune in for it because Florida Atlantic's really kind of gotten people rallied around them a little bit, and UConn has a humongous fan base.
I think people, and I think the reason that is because people think if you got to this point and you're not a blue blood, you're not one of the best teams in the regular season, like maybe it's a little bit of a fluke, right? But to me, it's like if you don't like the Cinderella story all the way to the end, then do you just not like the tournament in general? Because they played the games. The games were played. They won the games. They earned their way there. No one's voting them in. So if you don't like this, I understand it. Like the Blue Bloods are going to have more fans, but if you don't like this, do you just not like the tournament at all? Why even have 64 teams or 68 teams?
Yeah.
Why not just have the top 16? Go ahead. If that's really what you want, then why would you even let these other teams into the tournament?
And when you've had Cinderellas that have made deep runs, I think more people have gotten on board and more people have gotten behind them and more people have watched
it's
as
like they
they've
want
gone
one,
further.
Though. They want one. They want one Cinderella story in the Final Four versus 3 Blue Bloods or something like that.
That's the sentiment nationally, but I don't think it's right.
I don't either.
I think more people, like last year, St. Peter's, the more games the Peacocks won, the more people were talking about it, the more people were paying attention. Now, they lost in the Elite 8, but I would have been all for them going to the Final Four and all for them going all the way to the championship.
Well, and the other thing is, too, it's like we have these Cinderella stories, but they're not like crazy. We have a 9 and 2 5s, right? And then a 4. UConn, they're 4 seed, but they're UConn. They've won multiple national championships. But the other
Miami's a small school either.
Exactly. Miami's not a small school. San Diego State's been good for a long time, and they're 5 seeds. So it's not like we're sitting here rooting for a 13 or 14 or 15 seed. We're rooting for, or we're seeing Cinderella stories that aren't necessarily like the craziest of upsets. So I think that's kind of where this talking point has been created as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you overall. I love the upset. So I think the men's is going to be just as viewed as the women's, but it probably will be record ratings for the women's Final Four, and that's a good thing. It means that sport is growing and more people are paying attention to it. Caitlin Clark was signing autographs for 45 minutes after their game in the Elite 8. Just stayed around and kept signing on autographs and taking pictures. It was great.
Andy, this was your storyline going into the NCAA tournament that it's wide open.
Yeah.
How many times did the number 1 team in the country lose in the regular season on the men's side? It was fluctuating all the time. It was like
a record. Yeah.
Was Purdue number 1? Was Alabama number 1? UNC started as the preseason number 1, so I was like, nobody knows who the best team in the college basketball is, and it just the tournament has decided who's the hottest team. I think.
Yeah, it's kind of what we talk about with NDSU men's basketball. Actually, you're gonna be playing your best basketball at the end of February, going into the conference tournament, so you can go to the NCAA tournament. Well, maybe this tournament, and I think it's most tournaments, most years. It's not always the best team that wins. It's the team that's playing the best at that moment, the team that gets hot. And it comes down to matchups a little bit. It absolutely does. Doesn't mean it's fluky or that the national championship banners don't matter. They do. But especially this year, I said going into it that 1-seeded lost a lot. There were no dominant teams. The Blue Bloods didn't feel that blue. And honestly, I think it's here to stay. Because with the transfer portal, with NIL, with all that stuff, we think it helps the Blue Bloods a lot. and they're still going to go for the young players. They're still going to go for the one-and-dones. They're going for the flashy stuff. They might bring in a transfer here or there, but I don't think you're going to see many Kentucky teams built around junior or fifth-year transfers. It's just not the way they operate. Maybe Duke a little bit, but I highly doubt that. Kansas, I don't see them doing that. I see it being more of your San Diego States, your high mid-majors that do it, not your lower mid-majors. But San Diego State, yeah, they're a mid-major program, but they've been really good for a while. I see it being those high mid-majors that are going to kind of be around here to stay. Miami as well, a team that I know they're a high major program, but they've never been to a Final Four before. I think it's those kind of programs that are going to kind of get to the top a little bit more often.
I think, but the thing about like the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the Kansas, like they can rebuild. Now they're going to have to do it with freshmen, but they can rebuild so quickly with the one and dones. The guys that are, I'm going to play 1 year and go in the NBA. Like we've seen that.
They're still going to be around.
I think they're still going to be around. I think they're still going to have something to say. I was kind of thinking, I'd love to get your take on this. Like it seemed like the men's side, we talk about Caitlin Clark on the women's side, like it seemed like the men's side kind of lacked the star power a little bit. Would you agree with that? Like there's definitely good players, but I'm like, who was the one guy that, or even multiple guys that like you stuck out? Like I think back to, I know this was kind of an anomaly, but like Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett when they were with Duke, like those were two guys like you tune in just to watch them. Like I don't know if there was that
Anthony
kind of player.
Davis.
Yeah, I just don't know if there was that kind of player in this year's tournament.
I go back, like I said earlier, Steph Curry. Like he was on Davidson. He was on a blue blood team, but everyone's like, I kind of want to watch this Davidson team.
Marquise Noel might have been the best example.
Might have been, actually. And Brandon Miller's a phenomenal player. He's probably going to go second or third in the NBA draft.
He didn't really have a great tournament.
No, and obviously the game they lost, I think he only had 9 points when they made 3 shots from the field, right? But he's a phenomenal player. I tuned in to watch Alabama games throughout the year just to watch Brandon Miller because I thought he was a phenomenal player. But, I mean, the number one player in the next NBA draft, the issue for college basketball is he's not playing college basketball. Victor Wembanyama is, I believe, playing in France. He's a French player.
Yeah, he's overseas.
Yeah, he's an overseas guy. And that's probably the issue for college basketball this year is that the big star that everyone talked about at the NBA, that's how your stardom gets big. It's who's going to be the NBA top pick. And it's not even close. It's going to be Victor Wembanyama, and he's not playing college basketball. And then the formation of the G League as well is definitely taking some of the top talent away. Not a ton of it, but a player here, a player there, and the more it sticks around, you feel like maybe it takes away a few more every single year. And does the NBA eventually just get rid of the one-and-done rule? Do they go back to what it was when Kevin Garnett came out of high school and LeBron James came out of high school? Do you go back to that? If that ends up being the case, a lot of the star power, I think, does go away from college basketball because there'll be players who just believe they're good enough and they go straight high school to the NBA, and you'll still have very good teams, and the tournament's still going to be amazing, but you might not have that star power that you are accustomed to.
You might not have the star power, but you probably get teams that are a little more gelled.
Yeah.
Teams that play at least 2 or 3 years together, not so much of the one and done. But yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I don't see the star power necessarily that we've seen in years past.
That's a great point because you said it, and I was trying to think. I thought Marquise Noel and Brandon Miller. Outside
Zach
of that, like
but
Zach E, but he doesn't have a great personality about him. Where it's like,
and he's a big guy.
Yeah,
people tend to like the guys with the ball in their hands making plays, not just posting up because
Jalen Wilson for Kansas is a phenomenal player. He's great. There's a few other ones out there for sure that are really good players you were looking forward to. Marcus Sasser from Houston, but those aren't
injured kind of.
Yeah, those aren't like as household of names. They just aren't.
It's not the same.
The other thing for the women's program, we just talked about the one and done for the men's. Like you have a lot of that, right? A lot of players come in, they're 1 year and they're gone. What's one reason Caitlin Clark's become a household name? She's been around because in the women's game you have to stay. And they stay for 4, sometimes now 5 years, and they're around there forever. And Caitlin Clark's been a name for 3 years, and she's kind of been around, and she's had that impact on the national stage for multiple years where people maybe heard about the name, but they didn't tune in. Now they've heard about it again, and they're going to tune in. And think about Aaliyah Boston the same way. Now you got Paige Beckers, who's at UConn, who is a big name that everyone kind of got behind. There's star power because they're sticking around the universities. And not saying that they have to, men's players have to do that for the sake of the game or anything, but I think that's a big reason why the star power and the name recognition maybe is bigger on the women's side of the tournament than it is on the men's side this season. Let's take a break, though. We'll come back. We'll get some thoughts from some other people on that topic. We'll come back and talk about the Summit League a little bit. Adam Hildebrandt, the play-by-play voice for the Golden Eagles, will join us as they have a coaching change and a whole lot of things to go over on the Summit League side. We'll do that when we come back on The Insiders.
The most complete bison coverage in the region. Your Bison Nation station.
You are deep in thought, which is always dangerous.
Bison 1660.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. And the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Businesses should know that Consolidated Communications has the only data center in the FM area that is SOC 2 certified. That means Consolidated has tested reliable systems in place to protect your valuable data. That's more important than ever with today's security concerns. Many business insurance companies require SOC certification at data storage facilities. You should work with a local data center that is SOC 2 certified. For scalable, cost-effective data center solutions for your changing business needs, go to consolidated.com/data center.
Shop the largest new vehicle inventory in the area, only at Corwin Auto. Corwin Auto has over 600 new vehicles available, and one of them can be yours. You heard me. Over 600 new cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers for you to choose from. With inventory like that, you don't have to settle. Find exactly what you are looking for. Have a trade? Get top dollar when you purchase any new in-stock or incoming unit. What are you waiting for? Head to any Corwin Auto location today or shop online, corwinauto.com.
When it's time to find a realtor, word of mouth is important, and Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a name Bison Nation says often. Todd has helped everyone from coaches and administrators to broadcasters and former players and their families buy homes in the FM area. So many in Bison Nation trust Todd to buy and sell their homes, and you can too. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today or visit him at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time.
Ready to get off the couch and start swinging your clubs? The Golf Addiction 30-Day Summer Pass is one awesome deal. Buy your unlimited 30-day summer golf pass for just $50. You need to wait until May 1st to activate, but imagine unlimited golf all summer, just $50 a month. It's a great deal and always perfect weather. No one else gets close to Golf Addiction prices, food, full bar, and drink specials. Golf Addiction, your place for virtual rounds of golf with your friends and family. Unlimited 30-day summer pass starts May 1st. Buy yours today.
This is your Bison 1660 Metro Man.
The Elzagle Shrine Circus is coming to the Fargo Dome March 31st through April 2nd. See high-wire acts, motocross, elephants, and much more. 6 shows, one incredible circus. Get your tickets today. BioGirls Find Your 5K and Youth Run presented by Essentia Health is May 11th at Shields Arena. Register at biogirls.org/5K. This ad made possible by Ariel Holbrook of Floam Property Group.
With free tuition at Bismarck State College, now is the time to start or finish your degree in a high-demand career. It's not too late. BSC is offering flexible start dates and up to $6,000 to use toward tuition, fees, and books. Don't wait to apply. The grant money is first come, first serve. For more information, visit bismarckstate.edu/free tuition. The right degree, the right career, the right price. Bismarck State College is college done right. Scholarships are supported with American Rescue Plan Act funds distributed by the North Dakota Department of Commerce.
You may not have heard, but the Insiders is now under new management.
Did you see the memo about this?
It's Kyle Emanuel and Andy Rickoff.
And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
The Insiders on Bison 1660.
Back with you inside our Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center on the Insiders. Theraldson Ethanol, with a great facility just west of Castleton. You can join their growing team by going online to theraldsonethanol.com. They produce 175 million gallons of ethanol per year and roughly 400 tons of livestock feed per year. They're at Theraldson Ethanol, and great partners as well, managing the carbon footprint there at Theraldson Ethanol. Again, online, theraldsonethanol.com if you want to learn more about that. Want you to be a part of the show today. Feel free to give us a call, 701-476-1660, our Epic Companies hotline. Call in, be a part of the show. Give us your thoughts as we approach NDSU Pro Day and a whole bunch more going on in the sports world. You can also text us at that same number, 701-476-1660. Do have a text already from a couple of people on the Masters picks, a couple of jokes, taking some shots at me and Kyle. We'll go over that here in a little bit. But feel free to continue to text us at the text line, or you can email the Rick Electric email inbox, open for you today. That is studio@bison1660.com. But now let's get running again for probably the final time until we get back to next basketball season for the Summit League Shootaround.
The Summit League Shootaround. The Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Probably the last one as Summit League seasons come to an end for all of our teams in the tournament, including the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, who were the Summit League representative this year, a 12 seed against Duke in the first round. Didn't go the way of Oral Roberts, but their play-by-play man, Adam Hildebrandt, nice enough to join us on the Epic Companies hotline today. Adam, great to have you on with us one last time. Appreciate your time throughout this entire season. I know we've had you on quite a few times, so appreciate you coming on with us. What was the experience like getting to the NCAA tournament? Obviously, the game did not go the way Paul Mills and company were hoping it was going to.
Yeah, it was very different from the last time around. I mean, last time ORU was there, it was the return from COVID season, so they were inside the bubble. I didn't get to be with the team for that particular run, so it was good to get to kind of be around the guys and see all the different things that usually go along with an NCAA tournament appearance. And then, of course, Duke, the longest team in the country, they start 2 7-footers and another guy that's 6'8". Even when they cleared the bench, there was a 7-footer that came off the bench. So it was a tough matchup for sure, but proud of the season those guys had, and looking forward to seeing now what the future holds.
Yeah, I thought that was the case kind of when the matchup came out, that Duke just had so much size to go along and to battle against the size of ORU, because that's I thought where you guys had a huge advantage in the Summit League. Obviously, Vanover's tall, but then you bring out some other great tall players as well. Did you have a feeling going into that game that the height was going to be an issue, and not only the height but the ability for their taller players to shoot from the perimeter?
I think it was clear that it was going to be a challenge. I thought it was going to be quite as much of a challenge as it was. I thought ORU would be able to deal with it a little bit better than they did, and part of that was they just never got any second chances in terms of rebounds. Duke is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country this year. Obviously, that means they do things well on the defensive glass as well. So not a lot of second chances, and frankly, there were some opportunities early around the rim that weren't well contested, but I think some guys felt like those contests were coming, and so they didn't finish. And without those going in early, never really gave them a chance to settle in. So maybe if we see a few of those around the rim go in early on, that changes the game a little bit. But certainly that length even more of a factor than I anticipated it would be.
Adam, we have to get your thoughts on the big news out of ORU with the coaching change. Just what was the feelings around Tulsa with Paul Mills leaving for Wichita State, and what's kind of the excitement for Russell Springman now that he's taken over?
Yeah, I think at least in the back of most people's minds, they were probably preparing for this possibility, even in the midway point of the season, honestly, because the season was going so well. And I know he had turned down offers in the past. First of all, in terms of the thoughts on Paul Mills, I haven't seen anybody be anything but incredibly happy for him. I mean, he, without question, left this program in a much better place than he found it. And now he gets an opportunity to go and step into the American Athletic Conference and try to win games at a historically very, very good basketball program. And so I think everybody's really excited for him. When it comes to Russell Springman, and now we know Coach Patterson's going to be sticking around as well. The program's in good hands with those guys. Coach Springman, a guy who has a long track record of success as an assistant coach and as a recruiter, recruited KD to Texas, helped bring Max to ORU. So a very, very good track record from that standpoint. And in terms of the person that he is, and I said this to one of our local news media whenever it was announced, he's the kind of guy that always makes you feel important when you're in a conversation with him. Always, how's the family? What's going on with life? What's going on away from basketball? And so, just a really first-class individual that is, I think, going to continue to elevate this program.
Yeah, obviously it's a new era, right? And you kind of had a sense that Paul Mills was going to move on at some point here. You knew he had to have gotten some opportunities the last time they made that Sweet 16 run, but he was a great coach for ORU. I think he's going to be moving on and probably have some success there at Wichita State. But Russell Springman, now the head coach there. Do you get a sense of what the roster's going to look like? I believe I saw Deshane Weaver into the portal. Just what other names could come back or are going to come back, and what do you think this ORU team is going to look like next season?
Yeah, I think regardless of whether there was a coaching change or not, there was probably going to be a fair amount of roster turnover. I mean, DJ is a guy that we celebrated on senior night along with Max, Kareem Thompson, Carlos Jurgens, and Connor Vanover. I think all five of those guys will, likely either go pro or potentially transfer to another school. Maybe a couple of them stick around. I don't know for sure. I'm sure would like to see as many of them stick around as possible. But I think the general consensus was, especially those five guys that we celebrated on senior night, that they were probably playing their last year in an ORU uniform, regardless of who the coach was or what the situation was at the end of the year. I think the majority of those guys will probably end up playing professional basketball next season, whether it be getting drafted or going overseas. But we'll see how it plays out. Trey Phipps, I think his name was already in the transfer portal. There's now a chance that I think he may come back even and withdraw his name from the portal. So we'll have to see how it plays out. The nice thing is, no matter how many spots you need to replace, I know these guys, Russell and Sam were already recruiting some of the main recruits to come in next year. So you got a chance to keep a couple of those guys around. And there's more names in the transfer portal this year than there literally ever have been. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity to get in the portal and bring some new faces in. So I think that will definitely be a very different feel. We don't know what Max's decision is yet. Obviously, if he doesn't come back, which I think most people anticipate he's probably going to go play professionally, then it's automatically going to feel different. Even if everybody came back and Max left, it would feel different. So
yes.
It'll be a new look one way or the other.
So you kind of answered my next question. Do you feel Russell Springman's going to be more, and I guess you could say that Paul Mills was a little bit more of the portal, definitely their impact players. You think of Trey Phipps, Connor Vanover, obviously, a few others in there from the portal. Do you get a feeling that Russell Springman's going to, kind of do the same thing, steer right into the portal a little bit, or do it more with high school athletes in that area? That's a talent-rich area there around Tulsa.
Yeah, I think there will be some portal acquisitions, in particular this year, because you are going to have likely a significant amount of roster turnover. Now, if they talk to those guys and they found out that 3 or 4 of those guys are coming back for some reason, then I think you probably see them go more the high school route and not dive quite as deep into the portal. But especially this first year, I think you probably go grab a few from the transfer portal and then continue to up the focus on bringing in high school recruits, especially once you fill out your staff. I mean, right now you've only got half the staff to recruit with anyway. So until you name those 2 other assistants, then you've got some ground to make up. So I think it's probably likely that it's, at least early on, they dip into the portal. Now, long term, I'm not saying they won't use the portal at all. I think that ORU has proven with guys like Connor Vanover and Patrick Wamba and Isaac McBride that if you are in the portal, you can come to ORU and experience the NCAA tournament, have individual success, and give yourself a chance to go play at the next level. So I do think they've established themselves as a good mid-major portal destination. We'll just have to see how much they want to utilize that.
A player like Max Asmus, clearly one of those players that's made an impact on the program because he had a lot of success, and then he stuck around. I think in this day and age of college basketball, I have a lot of players that have a lot of success, and then they're gone, and they go somewhere else, and they use this as a launching pad. I thought it was always interesting that Max stuck around, and that was kind of the opposite of what's been happening here over the last couple of years, having success at a mid-major and staying at that mid-major. What do you think is the ending legacy of Max and this whole group? When you think of Deshane Weaver and Carlos Jurgens and the guys who have, Kareem Thompson, who have been there and been on this run the last couple of years. What do you think is their lasting legacy? And do you think there's any jerseys in the rafters there?
Well, Max is for sure. Max, whether he goes pro or stays or hits the transfer portal, it doesn't matter. His jersey will be hung in the rafters of the Mabee Center, and hopefully sooner rather than later, if you ask me. I mean,
I'm with you.
You can open the season with it next year, as far as I'm concerned, even if he's still on the roster. But he's definitely going up there. In terms of there may be one other that you might put Kareem or Carlos up there at some point. I don't know statistically they've quite got the numbers to get up there, but that group as a whole, I mean, you're looking at a team that and a core group that has literally physically changed the landscape at Oral Roberts. I mean, there's a whole new building next to the Mabee Center because of what that group was able to accomplish in the Mike Carter Athletic Center. So they have changed campus in tangible ways. They've changed the program in tangible ways, and they have quite simply elevated ORU basketball to a better destination for the next several groups of guys who are going to come in here. I mean, that is an impact that recruits for the next 20 years are going to be able to feel. And so it's hard to fully encompass what those guys have meant to this program. But they will be remembered very, very fondly, not only for what they did on the court, but what they did off of it. I mean, I just scheduled a haircut with Carlos Jurgens for hopefully tomorrow, if not sometime later this week. He's cut my kids' hair. Like, those are guys who have made an impact on the people around the ORU basketball program as well. So it'll be felt far beyond the basketball court.
Adam, I'm sure you've kept up with the NCAA tournament since ORU's exit. Andy and I were just talking about this earlier in our first segment. How do you feel about no blue bloods in the Final Four? I know that's been kind of a talking point. Some people like it, some people don't. Does it excite you with a 9, 2 5s, and a 4 seed, or are you one of those people that'd rather see some of the blue bloods in there?
No, I love it. I don't mind seeing blue bloods in there, but I am fired up for this Final Four. I'll have baseball to call some this weekend, so I might not get to watch as much of it as I would like. But I think one of the biggest concerns with the age of NIL and the transfer portal and the extra COVID eligibility would be that really talented players might stack up on those blue bloods and make them basically juggernauts. And we've seen almost the opposite happen. We've seen it add parity to college basketball. And that's still going to, I think, have some waves over time. I don't know that it will stay that way, 100% of the time. But I think the more parity we have in the college game, the more fun college basketball is. And we're seeing that. I mean, we saw, we had 3 straight years where a 15 advanced to the Sweet 16. We've got a 9 seed in the Final Four this year. So I just think that adds so much more to the college basketball experience and what we kind of grew up watching and seeing take place. I mean, one of my formative basketball memories is George Mason making its run to the Final Four. And so the more we see that kind of stuff, I think the more dreams are created for young kids and the more opportunities open up across the college game as a whole.
Looking forward to having you and that ORU baseball team up here at the end of the month. But bring your jacket, your snowshoes, and maybe some skis, because we still got a bunch of snow up here. Hoping to have those games here at the end of April. But good to hear from you, Adam. Looking forward to this baseball season. And thanks for giving us all your time here during the basketball season.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me. We'll talk to you guys next time around.
There you go. Adam Hildebrandt, voice of Oral Roberts, Golden Eagles. When you're doing the Summit League shoot-around next year, Micah Bindi, going to be a little bit of a different ORU team you're talking about. No Max Asmith, Shang Weaver, Trey Phipps, Carlos Jurgens, Connor Vanover. You're going to look like a different squad next year, and that's the life of college basketball, especially at the mid-major level.
Yeah, without a doubt, they're going to look a lot different, and they do a good job of always bringing talent in, so I'm not too worried about, are they just going to drop to the bottom of the Summit League? No, I'm not too worried about that. They're always a very good competitor in the Summit League.
But preseason polls, well, probably going to be number 1. I wouldn't think, unless they bring in some really big-time, not recruits, but portal guys, I would have to think.
If Asmith stays, then I think they're at least 2.
Yes, if he stays. I tend to lean the way Adam is, where it hasn't been announced yet, but more than likely going to be going to the NBA route, and if that ends up not happening, then playing professional and probably the G League would be my guess. He's right there on the border of getting drafted or not getting drafted. That usually means at the very least you're in the G League on somebody's roster there.
It definitely seems like he's done what he needs to do there at ORU. And yeah, he can always add to it, but I don't, as we just heard Adam talk about, they could put his jersey in the rafters next year, game 1, and I don't think anyone would have an issue with it. I think he's done plenty for that school, and I don't think anyone would be surprised to see him move on.
No, not one bit, especially with the new coach in there as well. Coach he knows, but it's no longer Paul Mills running the show there, as he has moved on to Wichita State. Much to the chagrin of everybody in the Summit League, especially those
so
at the,
disappointed.
The Midco level at the Summit League tournament. Just very upset that he's moving on. I really wish that that would be the AAC for Wichita State. I hope they put their tournament in Sioux Falls. I think it'd just be phenomenal, just to see the reaction. Just for an April Fool's joke for Paul Mills. Say, okay, Wichita State, your conference tournament's now in Sioux Falls.
I'm sure he would
just
love
to get
that.
his reaction. Yeah.
He had no issues with it being
He might quit.
Falls, right?
He might quit from Wichita State before game number 1, if that were to happen. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Plenty left to get to here in hour number 1. And Jory Collins, head coach for NDSU women's basketball, joins us to kick off hour number 2 today on the program.
Your home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
Shop the largest new vehicle inventory in the area, only at Corwin Auto. Corwin Auto has over 600 new vehicles available, and one of them can be yours. You heard me. Over 600 new cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers for you to choose from. With inventory like that, you don't have to settle. Find exactly what you are looking for. Have a trade? Get top dollar when you purchase any new in-stock or incoming unit. What are you waiting for? Head to any Corwin Auto location today or shop online, corwinauto.com.
Dakota Refrigeration, now known as DRI, has been serving Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, DRI is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical service needs. From the entryway to the kitchen, from hot to cold, from dreary to bright, DRI has you covered. DRI, formerly Dakota Refrigeration, with locations in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot, online at dacref.com.
The clock's changed, which means the change of seasons is next. Is your air conditioner ready? Don't wait until it's too late to get it checked off your list. Let the professionals at Valley Service Mechanical help. Make your appointment now for your annual air conditioner tune-up to ensure you can enjoy the upcoming warm weather and comfort. It's no sweat with Valley Service Mechanical when your heating and cooling needs help and your plumbing is on the fritz. Call Valley Service Mechanical, 701-293-5701. Online at valleyservice.net.
Attention all North Dakota veterans. In a partnership with the Veterans Service Office, Healing Hyperbarics is proud to announce all North Dakota veterans can receive hyperbaric treatments at no cost to them. Whether you're treating for post-traumatic stress disorder, post-COVID long hauler, or chronic pain, or others, Healing Hyperbarics is your one-stop shop for total body wellness. Inquire with your Veterans Service Office for more information on this grant, or find us at healinghyperbarics.com. That's healinghyperbarics.com.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle, hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly.
There's so many things on the mind of ag operators. This is Scott Zalondik with Cornerstone Bank. Right-sizing your farm operations, interest rates, and inflation are hot-button issues, and for good reason. These concerns require a specialized approach. At Cornerstone Bank, we're here to help businesses, ag operations, and individuals when they're making important decisions about their money. We're a locally owned and managed community bank, and we've been specializing in ag banking for generations. Come see the experts at Cornerstone Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Golf season is in full swing, and this year you can win on the PGA Tour. Or by picking golfers on the PGA Tour. Introducing the Bison 1660 Masters Golf Giveaway. Pick your top 8 finishers at Augusta for the Masters, and you could win a free 30-day membership at Golf Addiction Indoor Virtual Golf Bar and Grill. The winner will also go into a drawing for a free golf bag at the end of the summer. Sign up on our website, bison1660.com, and hopefully your team makes the cut.
These days, we're all looking for ways to save some cash. Have you looked at your insurance? Talk to your Nodak Insurance Company agent, because the more you insure with Nodak Insurance, the lower your premiums. Work with one local agent to package your home, autos, or excess liability, everything you care about. Then watch the savings add up. Ask your Nodak Insurance agent how you can save with a multi-line discount. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Gearing up for another season of Bison football? We've got you covered each and every day on the Insiders on Bison 1660.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again.
Welcome back into the Insiders. Great to have the voice of ORU, Adam Hildebrandt, on in our last segment on the Summit League Shootaround. Brought to you each and every week by Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. When it's time to be moved, Todd Cattermas is here to assist you with all your real estate needs. He's the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. You can call him at 701-371-4234 or stop by 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time. That might be the last time we do the Summit League Shootaround until next basketball season. I think we might make the switch. The seasons aren't changing, but we might change and go back to the Missouri Valley mix and talk some spring football starting next week.
But we also have a new segment that you announced last week, right? That Todd Cattermas will also be sponsoring, I believe.
Todd Cattermas, the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics, will also be sponsoring Buy or Sell every single week. It makes sense, right?
You guys were terrible at it. Actually, no, Micah. I think Micah was better. You were not good at it.
I sold a lot of things.
Well, I guess we can't really say you were not good at it. The only one that has come to fruition is the number one seeds are not going to win the tournament. That was the last one. Win. I actually threw that one in like last second. I was just looking at the bracket. I was like, oh, this will be a fun one. Maybe they'll buy this one.
I did.
I baited you.
Yep, I did. I bought hard, and nope, both out before the Final Four. So it's just like
that might be the only thing
Micah before the Elite Eight.
Micah said correct about this tournament is that a one seed won't win it.
Yeah,
that might be the only thing you've done correct.
I'm right about a lot of things,
and that's why I picked a one seed to win it, because he said one wasn't going to. So I figured at that point one was guaranteed to win it, but it didn't happen that way. Speaking of some picks like that, we did have Todd from Kenmare chiming in on the text line for us, 701-476-1660. Text in your thoughts on the tournament or NDSU spring ball or really anything. We will feel free to send us those thoughts, and we'll go through them on the show like Todd did. He said, would it be wise to wait and fill out my leaderboard for the Masters giveaway from Golf Addiction until after the Insiders draft and then just stay away from Kyle and Andy's picks? With a couple of laughing emojis. Throwing us right under the bus.
It's not the worst strategy. I will say, I told everyone this 2 weeks ago. I did win my players pool bracket that I did with some buddies. Mm-hmm. I won out of like 45 entries. So I don't know. Maybe I'm better at golf picking than I am. I definitely should be better at golf picking than March Madness.
2 of the last 3 years we've done the Masters Insiders picks. Pool giveaway. I won 2 of them, including last year.
Do you remember who you had?
All I remember last year is I had Scotty Scheffler. He was the third pick of the draft. I took him, and Jeff Gillane immediately said he's going to miss the cut. He's not going to win. So if you want to know who's going to win the tournament, ask Jeff Colhane. Try to reach out to Jeff and say who's going to miss the cut. The first name he mentions, that person wins.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I would do. But I've won it 2 of the last 3 years. So
who did you have? Was
Todd?
Who did you have the year before that, or 2 years before that? Do you remember?
Oh,
that would have been 2021.
I think I had. I didn't have anybody that won it. I remember that, but I had the best overall scores, and I know I had Xander Schauffele and Tommy Fleetwood.
But we're gonna have to talk about your format, because don't you say like if someone in your team misses the cut, they just have like 10 over or something?
10. Yep.
Should be worse than that.
But you grab the top 4 players, right?
Yep,
of your
draft
5?
4 and a wild card. It's your top 4. If you don't have 4 that make the cut, then penalty for missing the cut is plus 10.
I think it should be plus 12, maybe 15.
I don't think it's really going to matter because if you have a plus 10, you're probably not winning anyway. So
because there's guys that will make the cut and then they'll shoot 79. I think Tiger did it last year, and he ended up like almost 10 over.
Then don't draft that guy either.
You shouldn't be penalized for a guy that makes the cut over a guy that misses it.
Well, you got to take the final score.
Yeah, Andy.
Fine. Maybe we go 15-point penalty. We can decide that. I'm okay with upping the penalty because I think if you draft someone that doesn't make the cut, you're probably not going to win it anyway.
Get penalized for it.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Or maybe
I don't have to worry about it. My guys make the cut.
Maybe we should just say the penalty is like plus 5 of whatever the worst score is that makes the cut. How do you like that? So let's say
I feel like I'm getting math involved now.
Like, oh, come on. This is very minimal math.
Okay.
Like, let's say the guy that makes the cut and gets last place is 9 over. So then you would add 5. You know that math? 14. There you go.
There you go.
See? Easy.
Okay. Well, we can decide that. I'll give Chris and John a chance to
let them chime
quickly.
in.
Yeah,
and the new guy, so I probably shouldn't just come in.
New guys can't come in here and just muscle us around.
I did the PGA last year.
You did? You did all? Didn't you do all of them last year?
No, just
okay.
The PGA thing.
Yeah, you didn't do the Masters because Jeff was still here because he said that Scotty Scheffler was going to miss the cut, and then Scotty Scheffler won the whole entire thing, and that was just glorious. I will never ever forget that. It was great. So that's your plan, Todd. If you want to find out who's going to win for the Masters giveaway, just get a hold of Jeff Colhane. Ask him, is so-and-so going to miss the cut? If he says yes, he's your winner.
It's tough to take the hottest golfer. He was the hottest golfer, then he still is, and say he's going to miss the cut. That's a bold prediction.
It was. And he was very brash about it. Like, oh, he's not at his home course in Texas.
He was going to brag about it.
Yeah, not his home course. I got a feeling he's going to miss the cut, and boom, won the whole entire thing. It's like a lot of people are picking Scotty Scheffler to win again this year. Those Masters picks might be an advantageous spot to maybe put somebody other than Scotty Scheffler in terms of the value of somebody else that no one else would have winning the entire tournament. Maybe it's beneficial to do it that way.
Maybe Bryson DeChambeau.
Maybe. There you go. That'll do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 coming your way next. Head coach for NDSU women's basketball, Jory Collins, will join us on the other side.
Put that tax return to good use this year by paying cash for your next vehicle at Corwin Public Wholesale. Shop over 300 used vehicles at wholesale prices with vehicles starting at just $900. You might even have some cash left over. Cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs. They have it all at wholesale prices. Get more for your tax return this year at Corwin Public Wholesale. Corwin Public Wholesale, where your tax dollar goes further this tax season. Located right on the I-29 frontage road, Fargo.
BioGirls Find Your Kind 5K, presented by Essentia Health, is coming up on May 11th at Microsoft. Register to run the 5K or the Youth Run to help raise awareness and support BioGirls. BioGirls is a preventative mental wellness program for adolescent girls. So register today at biogirls.org/5K. That's biogirls.org/5K. This ad is made possible by Ariel Holbrook, Floam Property Group.
Businesses should know that Consolidated Communications has the only data center in the FM area that is SOC 2 certified. That means Consolidated has tested reliable systems in place to protect your valuable data. That's more important than ever with today's security concerns. Many business insurance companies require SOC certification at data storage facilities. You should work with a local data center that is SOC 2 certified. For scalable, cost-effective data center solutions for your changing business needs, go to consolidated.com/data center.
Jeremy here at Horsch in Mapleton. Did you know that Horsch manufactures premier planting, seeding, and tillage solutions right here in the FM area? We are proud to be a family-owned business based out of Germany and would love for you to join our team right here in Mapleton. We offer competitive pay, full benefits, and paid family time from Christmas to New Year's. Please visit Horsch.com to view our current openings.
Snow, ice, and below zero temps. Typical Midwest weather, but not so kind to your vehicle. That's why Jiffy Lube of Fargo is here to make sure you have your vehicle in top working condition and ready for these winter roads and temps. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, no appointment needed at any of the 3 locally owned locations. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, where you can do more in a jiffy. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, proudly serving the metro area for 5 decades.
Tired of striking out on the search of your dream home? Step up to the plate with Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Todd's expertise in the Fargo-Moorhead real estate market ensures every client has their bases covered. If you're taking a swing, why not swing for the fences? Todd Cattermas is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today at 701-371-4234 or visit him at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Moving the herd, one home at a time.
Are you a great electrician working for a company with a bad reputation? You deserve better. You deserve Rick Electric. In business for nearly 60 years and voted best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley 2022. Rick Electric is hiring journeyman electricians, apprentices, and service tech electricians today. Year-long full-time employment. Employer-paid full family health care. Paid holidays and 2 weeks paid vacation. You deserve to work for the best. And that's Rick Electric. To apply, send an email to info@rickelectric.com.
It's the Cash for Cars event at Gateway Chevrolet. All makes, all models. Sell your ride today. Whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles, Gateway Chevrolet will buy it. Cars, trucks, and SUVs get cash today. Gateway Chevrolet needs good, clean, used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Sell your ride today, whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Gateway will buy it. The Cash for Cars buying event today at Gateway Chevrolet in Fargo.
KQWB West Fargo, KPFX HD3 Kindred, and K224FD Fargo. Bison 1660, powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo. This is The Insiders, taking you inside the lines and behind the scenes of NDSU and around the region.
I hang heavy on your thoughts because you are the Bison gods.
That should be a penalty.
The Insiders.
Do you have any other questions?
You know it.
The Insiders are presented by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed.
Okay, so what are you saying?
These guys do an unbelievable job, and tune into The Insiders.
I did have one. I do not apologize for taking it out of the 6-pack.
First thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere.
The Insider. The Insider. The Insider.
The prices were that shocking. I wasn't listening. I'm an old soul.
Now, here are the Insiders.
Well, we're waiting.
Welcome on in, hour number 2 of the Insiders. Wait no more. Andy Rickoff, Kyle Emanuel, Micah Bindi in with you. The show, as always, brought to you by Proseed, home of the Right Choice and Right Stuff programs, online at proseed.net. If you need seed, think Proseed. A lot of things to get to. Some NFL headlines, some big headlines made about the Vikings and about Trey Lance over the last 26 hours or so. I'll give you some insight into that and our thoughts on it a little bit later on this hour. But right now, let's jump on over to the Epic Companies Hotline. Start off this hour with the head coach of NDSU women's basketball, one Jory Collins, nice enough to give us some time. Coach, great to have you on again. Before we dive too much into the team or this women's Final Four that is must-watch television, I wanted to let you know I watched Man on Fire, and it probably ranks below Crimson Tide and Rounders for me, but I was a big fan of the movie, so thanks for the recommendation.
You got it. Those are 3 good ones.
They were very good ones. I was a big fan. Anything with Denzel and Christopher Walken is a pretty good movie, though, so that was a good recommendation on your part.
All right. Well, I'm glad you liked them.
There we go. That was kind of our thing throughout the season, got some movie recommendations. You're a bigger movie buff than I think people know.
I spend a lot of time on planes, buses, cars, Andy. There's only so much film I can watch before you go blind, and then you need some mindless entertainment. So I get through the movies pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. Watch other film, not the film of basketball players. But appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here. What's the time been like since the season ended a couple of weeks ago, or not even a couple of weeks ago at this point, but what's it been like for you and the coaching staff here?
Yeah, just trying to take a deep breath. Girls got some time off. I think we were back in the weight room this morning. We'll get back on the court next week. Set up postseason meetings and evals and just create plans to get individuals better and get our team better. It's obviously always a time to be recruiting, and you know how the portal is, something you keep an eye on every day. And so you're monitoring that, talking with people, really just getting organized here for a good postseason.
Coach, let's stay right there. You mentioned the portal, and I know one of the big things now in college athletics is, what's the roster going to look like, especially with COVID and people having extra years. Sometimes us in the media, we don't even know. So what's the roster going to look like next year? What are you losing? And then how do you feel about filling those holes with maybe some of the younger ladies on your roster?
Yeah, Kyle, if you ask me today, I can tell you one thing, and then you may have to ask me again in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The way it goes. But, last year we had a ton of turnover. It was probably necessary for the better of our program and turned out to be really good for us. We had some great additions to our team that made big contributions this year. I don't anticipate us having any big turnover this year, which I'm excited about, and just looking forward to, continue to move forward with a group that can grow together a little bit. And I'm hoping, obviously, fingers crossed, that we have the vast majority of our core group back, and just the chance to get back in the gym with the group after a year, and just really talk about, hey, this is what you did well, this is what you can get better at, and really dive into some of those things is an exciting part of it.
On that note, let's go about one of your players who obviously is a staple of this program this year and will be going forward, was Elle Evans, the freshman, and she was obviously freshman of the year, all-defensive team. What do you think is the next step for Elle? What does she have to improve this offseason?
Yeah, I think, throughout the year she
she got more comfortable offensively. Her percentages went up a little bit, Andy, which is not usually typical for a freshman. There's a little bit of a freshman wall a lot of times that she just totally missed, which was awesome. I think some self-confidence on the offensive end. I think some things closer to the basket. I mean, she's all of 6'3" and jumps out the gym. We can manufacture some more points for her in closer. And then I think ball handling for her is another one. If we're going to continue to keep her on the perimeter, just being comfortable handling the ball against some pressure and just more guard mentality probably than she's ever had will be probably her biggest emphasis. And then, you know, as we continue to grow with her, just leadership and being comfortable, you know, speaking up. She does everything by example. She's trying to win every sprint. She's doing all those things right. It's just, you know, as a young sophomore, and who's going to be obviously an impact player for us, you know, finding your voice as a leader is something that you have to talk about. You have to find opportunities to start doing that, even if it's in small group work and in the locker room. But that's how you start it. That's how you grow into becoming a team leader.
When you look at this season overall, obviously a phenomenal regular season, get the 2 seed in the Summit League. Didn't end the way you wanted it to, but this might be kind of hard to put into just a few words, but like, what's your biggest takeaway from this past season?
Well, I thought we did a good job of really putting down on what we really want our foundation to be. You know, I think, you know, we had a really good second year here the year before last, but that was during COVID, and you know, it was just an awkward season. And then came back in our third year and obviously had some issues as we were still working to put our roster together and really establish a culture. I thought this year was really the first year where it was really solid. And so I think we have a really good base, you know, to springboard into next year off of who we want to be, how we want to get there. Obviously, we need to be better in March. I didn't enjoy at all how we played at the Summit League tournament. That was probably the most disappointing. And then obviously had a hard matchup with Oregon. But I thought our mentality of our team throughout the whole year was a lot more like we want it to be. And I think our team's going to be confident going forward. I think they saw how well we could play at times. I think there was times they know we fell short of what we could be. Ironing out some of those inconsistencies and becoming, you know, more of a high-level team at a consistent pace are things that we're looking forward to establishing.
And head coach of NDSU women's basketball, Jory Collins, here with us on the Epic Companies hotline. Wanted to shift focus a little bit. One of the reasons we're having you on is because of the NCAA Final Four on the women's side being set after last night with South Carolina getting a win there over Maryland and Virginia Tech's 10-point win over Ohio State as well. So you got 2 1 seeds, Virginia Tech and South Carolina, the defending champions, undefeated there. And then the 2 seed Iowa and a 3 seed in LSU. A little bit more of those higher seeds, but definitely some upsets this year where Stanford got upset in the second round against an 8 seed, and Indiana, a number 1 seed, got upset by number 9 Miami in the second round as well. Are you seeing more parity in the sport as a whole with some of these 1 seeds going out a little bit earlier than they had in years past?
Yeah, I mean, I think slowly. I mean, you can tell, obviously, with the men's Final Four this year, the parity, that's been going on for a while. There's always been the upsets in the men's game. There just hasn't been very many of those in the women's game. You could almost feed it out and just fill your bracket out pretty close to at least the Elite Eight on the women's side. You know, Miami got hot and beat Indiana. Stanford got upset, were the 2 big ones that you mentioned. But, I mean, here you are in the Final Four. You still have a 1-2 and a 1-3. So it usually goes that way. These ought to be 2 really good games. I mean, if you're a basketball fan in any way, both of these games should be highly entertaining.
You're talking about South Carolina, Leah Boston versus Caitlin Clark, probably the biggest name in college basketball right now, maybe even on the men's or women's side. We were talking about this earlier, the star power on the men's side doesn't seem to be there as much this year, but on the women's side, you have these big names, especially Caitlin Clark. What do you think about that matchup, and how would you go about trying to stop or slow down Caitlin Clark?
Oh, man. I try to keep her to the arena, I guess. I don't. those are I think the two best players in women's college basketball going head to head. It's going to be, I kind of wish they played the same position so they could match up a little bit more. Aaliyah's, kind of a post presence and does all her stuff closer in and around the basket, affects the game on both ends, defensively, rebounding, blocking shots, and then obviously scoring. And then, everybody knows that Caitlin Clark's, a lot like Steph Curry, and just is an unbelievable scorer, unbelievable passer as well. I mean, the other night she had a 40-point triple-double in that game. And then style of play for both of them. South Carolina is very defensive oriented, and Iowa is a big time 3-point shooting team. So it's going to be a contrast. I think if Iowa can get hot from the 3-point line, which they seem to do pretty regularly, then it's going to be a really, really good game. If they don't make a ton of threes, South Carolina's inside presence is just pretty good. And if I had to guard Caitlin Clark, we'd probably boxing one her, probably try to face guard her. I mean, everybody's done it. It doesn't work. Nothing works. But probably just make it as hard as possible for her to get any type of catch. And then make her pressure to dribble, try to make her give it up. Problem is she's got great teammates too, and they've been finding ways to score also.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. You brought up the name Steph Curry, and he obviously had that impact on the men's game where now everyone wants to shoot threes. And I think Caitlin Clark's having a little bit of that similar impact on the women's game at all. Do you see some of that in recruits you're looking at? People who kind of modeling their game after Caitlin Clark or maybe Sabrina Ionescu or some of those other players?
Yeah, I think some. I mean, anything you see on TV, that's what the next group wants to be. And we've had some players that shot it that way in the women's game. It's just, Caitlin's doing it on the biggest stage and has a really good chance to be National Player of the Year. And people like the long ball. I mean, anytime you're shooting 30-footer, she had a whole story on her about shooting from the logo. And what's crazy is I saw a stat the other day that she's shooting, maybe it was 39% from over 27 feet. So even her deepest ones, she's shooting as good, if not better, a percentage than just regular old threes. Maybe we need to add a 4-point shot to the game. Would add a little excitement too.
Hey, I'm all for it. That'd be great on the broadcast too. 4-point shot. I can come up with a different call for that one. Kyle had an interesting question about the tournament. Do you know why LSU, with 2 losses, was a 3 seed?
Yeah, I think the thing. If you go back, their non-conference wasn't particularly strong. Coach Mulkey, I think, and I don't even know if she had a ton to do with this particular year's schedule or what was scheduled before she took over there last year. But they honestly didn't play any very tough teams, and I think that's the sole reason. Now, the SEC is obviously a terrific conference. I mean, we all know what it is in just about all sports. It's the best athletes, and they got hot and are probably underseeded, but I think it was a non-conference that kind of kept them from being a 1 or 2.
And last question for you, we'll let you go. Any chance you would wear anything similar to what Kim Mulkey wears on the sidelines for LSU?
My wife asked me that the other day when we were watching. That's probably a little extreme for me, Andy.
Yep.
I don't know if feathers and all that is up my alley or not, but hey, I gotta respect the confidence to just roll out there and wear whatever you want to. So the I don't give a you-know-what attitude is something I can respect.
Well, if you're looking for it, they probably got it for you at Halberstadt's West Acres, official men's clothiers of NDSU Athletics. I had to get that one in there one more time with you. Jory Collins, head coach of NDSU women's basketball. Appreciate the time, Coach. Thanks for catching up with us, and looking forward to catching up with you again down the road.
All right, take care, guys.
There you go, head coach Jory Collins. Nice enough to stop by with. Have you seen the outfits?
I did.
Kim? Yeah, she got some
Absolutely
feathers, pink, a lot of sparkles, a lot of very shiny.
Got some publicity.
It sure did.
I like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, but
hey, if it helps you get to the Final Four.
Yeah, gets you to the Final Four, gets you some publicity, maybe some recruits like it. Okay, I'm all for it.
If I were to tell Jory Collins, you got to wear something, and we'll get you to the Final Four, but I get to pick it out, you'd probably wear whatever I picked out.
Absolutely,
yep.
would.
There would be a lot of sacrifices made. So definitely some interesting outfits there.
The next person we're going to see wear that, Kyle Kuzma of the NBA. That's going to be his walk-in clothes. He's known to be a fashion guy himself, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him wear that.
A couple of them in the NFL too. I can't think. Like Jalen Hurts, he had like the bright green blazer on for the Super Bowl, something like that.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a good fashion guy. He's got a nice suit game.
Yeah, I feel like Joe Burrow's a classic look though. He's not wearing something crazy or outlandish.
He usually has the nice just styled like brimmed hats.
Yeah, something like that. But like he's like 007.
I think that should be the next Kirko chain.
Kirko chains. There we go.
Instead of the chain, he's rocking the.
You know who would do
feathered.
it actually? Cam Newton.
Oh yeah,
Cam Newton was always a little out there with the hats and the vests and all that kind of stuff.
Out there.
Yeah, he had feathers included as well. So he already has done it actually. If he ever were to come back, he was at Auburn's Pro Day a couple of weeks ago, and it was a big story. People think he's going to make a comeback, and I'm like, yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
Let's see what happens.
I think he's got to be a starter.
Yeah, and as a backup, I don't think I want him as my backup. Too much publicity for the backup position. We'll take a break, then we'll come back and switch our focus to one of Kyle Emanuel's favorite things, SAC, Student Athlete Advisory Council. They got a food drive going on, the SAC Food Drive. One more chance to donate to the Emergency Food Bank here in Fargo. Hear from one of the members of NDSU SAC when we come back next.
North Dakota State football plays here. Bison 1660.
We take great pride in really doing all the research and the work behind the scenes to make sure that our products just work.
We have our own staff member that helps pick the hybrids and the varieties that work in our area. It's meant for you, not for somebody 200 miles away.
We test our seed locally. We produce our seed locally, so we get to see our production fields, where they need to be, and if they work there.
Need seed? Think ProSeed. ProSeed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Are you having trouble concentrating, remembering details, and making decisions? Are you tired all the time, irritable, or having trouble sleeping? These symptoms can be normal, but when they become overwhelming and last for long periods of time, it's time to seek medical help. If you're wondering if you're suffering from depression or anxiety, Lakeland Mental Health Center encourages you to get a free and confidential online screening at lmhc.org. Lakeland Mental Health Center. Help today for a better tomorrow.
Are you a great electrician working for a company with a bad reputation? You deserve better. You deserve Rick Electric. In business for nearly 60 years and voted best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley 2022. Rick Electric is hiring journeyman electricians, apprentices, and service tech electricians today. Year-long full-time employment, employer-paid full family health care, paid holidays, and 2 weeks paid vacation. You deserve to work for the best, and that's Rick Electric. To apply, send an email to info@rickelectric.com.
The right education at the right time. Bismarck State College is college done right, proud to make a bold impact in our communities and beyond. Bismarck State College, North Dakota's polytechnic institution, is setting the bar a little higher with each success story. We're powering the workforce and empowering families, innovating industries, and energizing our economy. We're right where you need us, with flexible pathways and easy-to-access support. Now is the time to get on the right path to a better career and future. Do college right. Bismarck State College.
Put that tax return to good use this year by paying cash for your next vehicle at Corwin Public Wholesale. Shop over 300 used vehicles at wholesale prices with vehicles starting at just $900. You might even have some cash left over. Cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs. They have it all at wholesale prices. Get more for your tax return this year at Corwin Public Wholesale. Corwin Public Wholesale, where your tax dollar goes further this tax season. Located right on the I-29 frontage road, Fargo.
Attention all electricians! Are you ready for your next challenge? Theraldson Ethanol is currently seeking an experienced and skilled E&I technician to join their team in Castleton. You'll be responsible for maintaining, troubleshooting, and repairing a variety of electrical and instrumentation equipment. You'll need to have strong analytical skills, technical aptitude, excellent attention to detail, and a commitment to safety. If you have experience in E&I maintenance and an electrical journeyman license, we want to hear from you. Apply now at theraldsonethanol.com.
Whether it's the FCS, NFL, or productivity at work, we have you covered.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Insiders on Bison 1660.
Welcome back into the Insiders here on Bison 1660, brought to you by ProSeed, home of the Right Choice and Right Stuff programs, online at proseed.net. If you need seed, think ProSeed. Again, go to our website, bison1660.com. Sign up for our Masters PGA Picks giveaway. Your chance to win a 30-day free pass to Golf Addiction in Fargo. Only place you're golfing right around now because of all the snow. Your chance to win 30 days free at Golf Addiction just by signing up there on our Masters giveaway. Pick your top 8 finishers at Augusta next weekend, and you have a chance to win 30 days free at Golf Addiction. Plus, you'll be in the drawing for a new golf bag from Golf Addiction as well. They're on our website, bison1660.com, or you can look on the social media accounts there on Facebook and Twitter as well at bison1660. But right now, talking about a cool event going on here today, and your last chance to donate to a great cause here that supports a local cause with NDSU SAC and a representative of the NDSU Student Athlete Advisory Council, or SAC, with us right now, Olivia Lovick of NDSU Soccer. Olivia, great to have you in studio with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you guys in. Can you just give us a little info of what's happening here actually today, March 28th, a food drive here for the local community?
Yeah, so tonight is our last kind of final push for the food drive from 4 to 6 p.m. Outside the shack, we'll be doing a drive-up donation, as well as handing out coupons. So for every donation, you'll get a free Chick-fil-A meal or a buy one, get one at Sandy's Donuts as well.
That's a win-win if I've ever heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Chick-fil-A or donuts involved. And this is non-perishable food items, correct?
Yes.
Anything specific you guys are looking for, or the food bank needs more than other things?
No, really anything. We're just looking to collect as much as we can at this point.
Kyle Emanuel, former SAC member as well. This is something that's been passed down from generation to generation.
It is, yeah. We were doing it back when we were just talking to Olivia before we came on air about, I was in it for 4 years. Tell the people a little bit more about what SAC does. I know the food drive is a big thing, but there's a lot of other things that go on as well.
Yes, so it's 2 representatives from each sport, so we really are just spokespeople for our own sport, just to find ways to better our community, be more involved as student athletes. So running different drives, fundraisers, kind of just finding anything we can help out with.
It's you and Paige Goldie, you said,
Yes.
correct? The 2 representatives for the soccer program here at NDSU. During the 2022-2023 basketball seasons for NDSU, Todd Cattermas, Beyond Realty, donated 5 pounds of food for every Bison three-pointer made. There was 433 three-pointers made. That equals, because we're not good at math on this show, we figured that out, 2,165 pounds of food donated to the Summit League food fight here with NDSU SAC. Again, they got tonight from 4 to 6, south side of the shack by the new indoor practice facility. That's where the drop-off is for non-perishable food items for the Summit League food fight, which is really a competition between all the Summit League schools as well.
Yes, it is a competition, and SDSU has actually won these past 3 years, I want to say, or something like that. So we're trying to change that this year.
There you go. You know how to speak to the fans out
Yeah,
there. If you ever wanted to donate, you really want to get behind a cause, SDSU's been winning it, and we need to stop that from happening, Bison Nation. So get out there and donate some food.
I feel like they always won when I was way back in the day when I was involved as well. So yeah, we need to change that. Definitely.
Yeah, Kyle couldn't change it. This group of NDSU
they got a better
SAC.
chance than me. Yes.
There you go, trying to change this thing right now. Again, 4 to 6 in the parking lot of the shack. All of the donations as well go to benefit the emergency food pantry here locally. So this isn't something where you're just donating food and sending it somewhere. It's going to actually affect local in the community here.
Yes.
That's a really cool aspect. Do you guys pick that? Is that you guys that pick the emergency food bank, or how was that decided?
I think that's been a part of this for a long time, so I'm not really sure who made that decision, but I've been, most recent years we've done that.
Why not keep it that way?
Yeah.
The pantry will take any canned and packaged food in the original unopened packaging. They also take hygiene items as well, something we don't talk about enough, but common items include peanut butter, rice, canned meat, toilet paper, bars of soap, baby wipes, diapers, dish soap, and laundry soap. All of that will be taken for you guys. Again, it's 4 to 6 at the shack parking lot, south side of the shack. And I'm guessing it's just going to be you guys are pretty obvious when you pull into the parking lot where to go.
Yeah. There'll be a group of 10 of us out there.
Search for the student athletes.
Yep.
I think it'll
We'll
be
be
pretty
there.
obvious which ones those are. And then right by the new indoor practice facility as well. I'm guessing you guys as a team have also been inside the new indoor facility.
Yeah, we've been practicing there all spring.
Okay. So how have the practices been going?
Really good, actually. We've made a lot of improvement. I think this past fall was a big growth year, so kind of just continuing off that and getting us ready for this fall.
how much better is it than the bubble? Because I know from being in there for soccer and have played soccer, you guys basically had to make the field a little bit shorter because the bubble just wasn't tall enough on the sides, kept kind of running into it, was unsafe. So this has got to be a way better setup for you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's like day and night compared to the bubble, so we're really grateful for that. It's been a nice space to train in.
And then you have some games coming up here as well in your spring exhibition season?
We do. This weekend are our first 2 games for the spring. We have Northern State and Concordia St. Paul, Saturday and Sunday.
Fun to get back on the field and actually compete rather than just doing lifting and running and training and all that.
Yeah, we're excited for sure.
There you go. Well, Olivia, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. Again, 4 to 6 to donate some food to NDSU SAC. Best of luck with the games and best of luck here with the food drive.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Some NFL headlines to get to when we come back on the other side.
This is the Insiders on your exclusive home for North Dakota State Athletics, Bison 1660.
Join Horn Plastics in celebrating 40 years of excellence. As a special thank you to their customers, they're running some amazing promotions throughout the year. For the month of March, sign up for a chance to win a free installation service with a purchase of materials. You pay for the materials, and they provide the labor. Horn Plastics is known for their high-performance trailer and dump truck body liners, including their popular Super Slide bed liners. So if you want the best in the industry, go see them today. To sign up for a free install, visit hornplastics.com.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly.
Golf season is in full swing, and this year you can win on the PGA Tour or by picking golfers on the PGA Tour. Introducing the Bison 1660 Masters Golf Giveaway. Pick your top 8 finishers at Augusta for the Masters, and you could win a free 30-day membership at Golf Addiction Indoor Virtual Golf Bar and Grill. The winner will also go into a drawing for a free golf bag at the end of the summer. Sign up on our website, bison1660.com, and hopefully your team makes the cut.
Hey, business owners, you have your banker, you have your insurance guy, but do you have your door guy? Now you do. DavTech Window Services also specializes in commercial door and window repair and replacement. DavTech is proud to be known for their excellent commercial services as on the NDSU campus. Choose the door and window experts that will deliver top-rated products as well as the experienced technicians that do it right the first time. A decade of service with a century of experience. Online at DavTechWindowServices.com. That's DavTechWindowServices.com.
Looking to add some light and brighten up the inside of your home? Maybe you have an outdoor project or you're looking to update in the garage. Then the team at JDP Electric should be your first and only phone call. JDP Electric makes the process easy. Their dedicated team of professionals can assist with any size project or idea you may have, and even provide a few ideas they see that fit your budget as well. Don't mess with the electricity. Make sure to call in the pros. Call 701-232-1991 today to experience the JDP difference.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Bobcat in Wahpeton is now hiring for assemblers and CNC machinists. If you're a qualified CNC machinist, you could earn a $2,000 sign-on bonus and a $5,000 relocation bonus. Apply online at bobcat.com/nowhiring or stop by the in-person job fair Wednesday, March 29th from 9 to 3:30 at the Bobcat Wahpeton plant. At Bobcat, they're committed to helping you build a better future. Join the team in Wahpeton and start building what's next. Bobcat is an equal opportunity employer.
Here for you, for all the Bison football coverage you can handle.
These guys do an unbelievable job, and you want to know what's going on in Bison sports? Tune into the Insiders.
The Insiders on Bison 1660 and 92.7 FM.
Welcome back into the Insiders. Our Bison 1660 bracket challenge going on right now. Thank you to everybody that signed up, and a big thank you to Jim Beam and On the Rocks Premium Cocktails for bringing you our Bison 1660 bracket challenge this year. Down to really 3 contestants. It was down to will UConn win a national championship or Miami win a national championship. Shocker, nobody had San Diego State or Florida Atlantic winning the national title. I can't believe it.
I'm surprised anyone had Miami winning it.
Yeah, that's a gutsy
Honestly.
one. Yeah, it's a gutsy pick.
Good
Maybe it's
call.
a Hurricanes fan out there.
I guess.
Yeah,
it must be.
You would think. Maybe some sort of tie into
Because
it.
Miami's never been there, but
Yeah.
they must have been listening to you, Andy. You told them all along this is going to be a wide open tournament.
Yep.
And maybe
One
this
way.
was like their 9th bracket, and
If
they
you-
decided to need a new champion.
You pick somebody kind of random, you had a chance to
That's what
basically
I
beat
told
everybody
you.
just
That's
by winning
my
one.
strategy.
Yeah. It's not a
That's why
bad
I
strategy.
picked Marquette.
It's really not.
Not that random. They were a 2 seed, but
Yeah.
still a little.
How'd that
random.
one work out for you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Better
Better than you. Better than you.
Hey, my champion lasted a little
Doesn't
bit
matter.
longer.
Doesn't
Little
matter
longer.
who
Yeah.
has someone right in the Final Four.
That is true. You got me with UConn, who I had out in the first round.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think ESPN allows you to make 20 or 25 brackets. So if if you went through all the 1 seeds, the 2 seeds, the 3 seeds, 4 seeds, and 5 seeds, then you would have
eventually,
picked
yeah.
UConn and Miami. So if someone did that, they're like, I'm going to fill out 25. I'll just pick
And
the
you'd have
top
San Diego
25
State.
teams.
San Diego State is a 5. You'd have Miami, and you'd have UConn.
That might be my strategy next year. Actually,
Do
no, that
25
takes
brackets.
way too long.
Yeah, that's also cheating. Come on. Can't make 25. You got to make one bracket and stick to it.
That's usually what I do.
That's my thought on it, at the very least. A max of 2. I'll give you 2 if you're in some other league and you just want to switch a couple things up. But no more than that, if you're asking me. But thanks to everyone that signed up there. Again, sign up for our Masters giveaway. We're doing this all summer long. Your chance to win free 30 days at Golf Addiction. A great spot. Simulators are phenomenal. Great way to get some golf in before the sun finally comes out in this area, and really just all year long continuing to go there. You can get a round in, whether it's rainy, sunny, anything. Plus, got great food and beverages there as well at Golf Addiction, so stop by there. But your chance to win a free 30-day pass to Golf Addiction by signing up for our Masters Golf giveaway on our website, bison1660.com. Look for the rotating graphic. Click on that. Sign up. Pick your top 8 golfers for the Masters, and if you are correct, you will win that 30-day free membership and also a chance to win a free golf bag at the end of the summer. A couple of storylines in the NFL recently, though. A couple of them are on the Vikings and a couple around Trey Lance on the 49ers. First off, earlier today, and really throughout the last couple of days, you've had people kind of at the NFL kind of meetings, the rules meetings, and you get a GM and a head coach all up there for media availability. Well, today, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell was asked about Kirk Cousins and if he's going to be, he's going into the final year of his contract, how he feels about Kirk Cousins playing out the final year. And this is the quote from, again, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell saying, "I'm just excited for year 2 of him in this offseason. My goal is for 2023 to be one of the best seasons of his career, and when that happens, it's going to be a great thing for the Vikings." What I take away from that? No mention of anything long-term, no mention even of him actually playing out the contract or in the final year of his contract. What it sounds like is that you've got maybe the final year of Kirk Cousins, whether he plays well or not, and for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously take that away from it. I think the other takeaway is he just didn't really say anything about it. Like, yeah, you can speculate on, what does that mean about the future? I think we all kind of can come to our own conclusion a little bit about the future when you don't extend him, and this is the last year. Like, you just don't see that happen a lot with quarterbacks. When you want them back, you tend to extend them. You don't let them play in the final year of their contract. So he kind of said stuff without really.
But he didn't back him up.
No, but
he didn't
did
do
you
the
expect
classic,
him
"Hey,
to?"
Kirk Cousins is our guy for now and the future."
Well, yeah, but I didn't expect him to say that either.
Well, if he's your guy, though, I would expect you to say it. Like, if you've got Daniel Jones, the Giants just signed him to a new deal and said he's our guy.
Yeah, because they signed him to a new deal.
Yeah, the Dolphins have come out and said Tua's our guy.
Because they extended him.
Well, he picked up his 5th-year option. It's not really extending a guy.
Well, whatever you want to say. Now he has, I think, 2 years left. Kirk has 1. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And everything he said.
I wasn't expecting them to, but if they were going to sign him to a long-term deal,
I don't think they're going to.
I think they would have said something. The fact that they didn't say anything doesn't mean they're not going to sign him.
Oh yeah, I agree. He basically said he could have. He didn't say this, but he kind of said he could have a phenomenal year. We win the Super Bowl, whatever, and that's it. Didn't say anything like, okay, if he has this phenomenal year, yeah, it's great for the Vikings, but what does that mean for Kirk moving forward?
If he has another phenomenal year where he's like a top 10 quarterback statistically, it would hurt a little bit to lose him for nothing if you're the Vikings, right? Because, quarterbacks, you're getting a bunch for them on the trade market right now. I don't know if anyone's giving you multiple firsts for Kirk, especially since he'll be 36, but you could get some compensation back for him for a quarterback-needy team, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that was a conversation. You'd think we extend him, and then if we want to get rid of him, we try to trade him.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Seems like they're ready to move on.
Yeah.
I tried trading Kirk Cousins to the Jets for the 13th overall pick on PFF Mock.
Yep.
Oh.
They didn't let me do it. The Jets didn't want him. I'm like, you guys need him. Imagine if the Jets had Kirk Cousins. They're easily a playoff team. Easily.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they're even in the AFC. I think they probably would be a playoff team with how loaded that roster is, and they can afford to have Kirk because they got a lot of good players on rookie deals. It's going to be hard for the Vikings to keep Kirk at that number, knowing Justin Jefferson's going to get a deal here soon. They got a lot of older players getting deals. Dalvin Cook's still on the roster, at least for now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with them in the long term. But we do have some more stuff as well on the 49ers and on Trey Lance. From both their head coach and their GM. First off, their GM, John Lynch, was speaking to members of the media yesterday about the quarterback position. Brock Purdy's hurt. Trey Lance is coming back from an injury. Who's the quote-unquote leader in the clubhouse? And this is what the GM of the 49ers, John Lynch, had to say.
I think Brock has earned the right with the way he played that he's probably the leader in the clubhouse at that. I'll let Kyle make those kind of decisions, but I know when we talk, I think Brock's probably earned that right to be the guy. If we were to line up, he'd probably take that first snap. And really excited about where Trey is at with his progress from his injury. He's been working really hard and, love the opportunity to be able to bring in Sam Darnold and his skill set. We think it's a really good fit. And so we like that room a lot.
There you go, GM. I think bringing in Sam Darnold is the one that made me scratch my head a little bit at first. I was like, man, that just doesn't make sense. If you've got, and we were thinking Purdy's going to be healthy for probably not for much training camp, but week 1, week 2 of the season. It's sounding like it's still on track for that. Maybe a slight delay for him. But you got Trey Lance, who you drafted 3rd overall, gave up all the picks for. Why would you bring in? I don't think Sam Darnold's great. I don't think anyone's thinking Darnold's taking people's jobs. But that's someone with a reputation about them that you brought into that quarterback room. Made me scratch my head at first. I'll say this from texting with a few people out there yesterday. They viewed Sam Darnold as a necessary evil a little bit of, man, this team went through 4 quarterbacks last year. Yeah. You better have 3 or 4 you think can play, and maybe that it does make sense for that franchise to get as many capable bodies as they can.
Yeah, and I think when you have 2 young quarterbacks, both coming off of injury, you have no one else on the roster. I think it made sense after you looked at it a little bit more of, okay, let's bring in a veteran that we feel like, everyone's winning in that 49ers system. Whoever's playing quarterbacks, people are winning. Let's bring in a guy that's, maybe call him dependable. He's had his ups and downs, obviously, probably more downs than ups, but he's still somewhat of a proven commodity. Bring in a veteran that we know, okay, let's say something happens with both their rehabs, with Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. They're not ready to go at the start of the season. Well, you have to have someone, and so I think having someone in for the entire offseason that you have to just bring in last minute as an emergency quarterback helps out. As far as what he said about Brock Purdy, I think it kind of makes sense. Yeah, he won a lot of games. He got him to the NFC Championship. He got hurt, and that's basically why they lost that game. I'm not saying they were going to win that game with him. Maybe they do. They obviously have
been a lot
chance. And I just looked up his stats, and I was trying to find something. He had a solid year. He really did. Now they don't ask him to do a ton. You don't have to throw the ball 50 times a game. But he's the type of quarterback that fits in that system well. They want someone who's dependable, someone who's accurate, not going to make a ton of mistakes. He only threw, I see in here, 4 interceptions, I believe. 4 interceptions in all the games that he started. And so it makes sense. But, I want Trey to start, and I think, like you said, you make that big jump up, right? You make that big jump up to 3 to draft him there. He hasn't really had an opportunity to show what he can do. He gets hurt so early last year. You would think they would kind of tip the scales towards him to give him the shot early on, but again, this is very early.
In a locker room, because you've been in a locker room. Brock Purdy wins 8 games, which is the NFC title game.
It's hard to just be sorry.
You're going to tell the veterans in the locker room, we're not going with the guy that got you there? That's kind of difficult to do, too. That's what makes this such a tricky situation. Their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, had this to say, said that Trey had that position going into the year. We were real excited about that, and we think we would have had a hell of a year. He only got in 1 1/4 games, and then he went out. Brock played 8 games and won all of them and played at an extremely high level. We believe Trey can be that. I think he would have done it last year if he had stayed healthy. The good thing for him is with Brock being hurt and stuff, he has an opportunity to try and regain that. That's also why we brought in Sam, because we can't be set for sure on Brock because you never know how the injury will go. We think we think it will go well. We're optimistic about it, but right now That's on hold, so that opens up an opportunity for Trey and for Sam to come in and show us what they have. So Kyle Shanahan saying absolutely, Trey can take that job back. But I do think the leader in the clubhouse right now, and I think rightfully so with the way he played and the way they won games, is going to be Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think he's I think his ceiling is lower, obviously, and there's a reason he was drafted where he was. I think he could be a solid quarterback, but is he going to be a difference maker? I think you need the rest of the roster to be that difference maker. I think Trey, obviously, when you look at his skill set and what he can do, he could elevate this team even further. But like we keep saying, when you win 8 games, you start 8 games, and the games you finished, you won every single one. I mean, it only makes sense for the head coach and GM to say what they're saying.
Kyle Shanahan also had this to say about Brock Purdy's injury. He said they will find out more about Brock Purdy's injury situation after 3 months of rehab and how it recovers. So coming up here at the end, not this month, but next month is kind of that 3-month out window. Said it could be 6 months, it could be 8 months. He could be healthy for week 1. It could be something like week 4. Options all open really right now on the table. One thing for Brock is he's still a really young guy. Last year as a rookie, and now this year, like if you miss all of training camp, that's a big thing too, right? I know he knows the offense, but that's still a big thing for a second-year quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to – we were just talking about the locker room, but don't you – on the other side of that, wouldn't you also say it's hard to say, let's say Trey has a really good camp, a really good preseason, and now you're going to say, well, we're actually going to go with a guy that hasn't played at all since last season. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be a little bit of a hard sell too. Like you said, he's a young quarterback. There's still wrinkles and chemistry that he needs to build with receivers, and he's not going to – most likely not going to be able to do any of that.
Yeah. We mentioned, Brock Purdy won it back. I think if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm doing everything I can to rehab as fast as I can and get back for week 1, because just as quickly as he took it from Trey, Trey can take it right back. If you're gone for the first 3 games, they go 3-0 or even 2-1, but Trey looks amazing. And he's got like
short.
1 pick. They're going to go back to Trey too.
100%.
Because they have a lot invested in Trey. Absolutely.
If he wins a couple games first, like you said, even 1 week, 2 weeks, it's going to be hard to go back. I think it's going to be his job at that point.
Mm-hmm. It's a dangerous thing to keep flip-flopping, though. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're just going to ride the hot hand. But when that hot hand, what if the hot hands go away and then you have no one? And it's like, well, they never really fully invested in Trey. They never really fully invested in Brock Purdy of like, he's the guy. They're kind of just like wishy-washy of like, oh, we'll play who's the best. Well,
it was the same thing for Carson.
Week to week.
That would suck for Trey. Because let's say Trey comes out, starts the first couple of games, they play really well, and they decide, okay, Trey's our guy. But then in the middle of the season has a lull. The first thing the fans will do is, we want Brock. Yep. This isn't working anymore. We got to switch back, and the team's got to hold firm. I think Kyle Shanahan has a pretty good pulse on that stuff, but it's not an easy job when you've got another quarterback there that the fans all love and they've seen have success as well. Your leash tends to be a little bit shorter, at least with the fan base and the media out there.
Yeah, and I think this has to be eventually. This has to be. If it's not, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to trade him? You're going to keep him on the bench for 2 more years because he's only in year 3 of a rookie deal. Yeah. At that point, you wouldn't extend him to the 5th year. But it just seems like I think you say that about Trey. I think the same thing for Brock Purdy. He comes in. Let's say he does start week 1 and they lose, and then he starts week 2. You maybe even if they win, but he doesn't play well, like. I think now you're going to have the other side and fans starting to chant for Trey Lance to be the starting guy. So yeah, they're good point, Micah. Like I don't like when you don't have confidence in whoever is starting, or that person mentally is like, it's okay. This is my job. I'm allowed to make a few mistakes. When you're out there trying to play perfect, I think that's a hard way to play football at any position, especially quarterback.
Yeah, especially that position with all that pressure. Going to be very interesting to see how they play that one out there. In San Fran, but obviously hope the very best for Trey. I did ask some of the people that we've had on the show before out there in San Fran yesterday, like, you think they trade him? And they said no. It's not at that point. They're not looking to trade Trey Lance at all, mainly because, again, they need as many healthy quarterbacks as they can get out there with the way last season went, all the injuries there. But also, they do believe in Trey. They like him. But it'll be interesting if Brock Purdy's back and he wins that job back. At some point, you have to try and recoup some of the value you gave up for Trey, which was, I believe, 3 first-round picks in total. I asked them, if someone gives you 2 seconds right now, someone were to offer them. One person said no, and the other person said, that'd be interesting. I don't think they would do it, but other people around here would definitely think long and hard about that to at least get something back for sure.
Well, do we think Brock Purdy was kind of a flash in the pan, or is he like a guy that you're going to invest in? Like, yeah, we can build our team around him. I don't know if he's...
Or was he Nick Foles?
Yeah, exactly.
Won a Super Bowl and then
have a really good run, and then I think there's still a lot to be seen still from Brock Purdy when maybe people have a little more tape on him. He's been around a little bit more. Can you do it for more than just half a season?
Yeah, going to be interesting out there in San Francisco. We'll be watching along because obviously Trey Lance out there as a pro Bison, a whole bunch more pro Bison taking the field on Wednesday. Tomorrow at NDSU Pro Day. We'll be live out there from 10 to 1, covering Pro Day there for the Bison. We'll take a break, then we'll come back, wrap up the show today, and get you ready for everything going on tomorrow out at the new indoor practice facility for NDSU Pro Day.
Hear the herd here. Bison's 1660.
Hi, I'm Jason, the plant manager at CNH Industrial. I have had the great pleasure of working here for the last 28 years. Each day is an opportunity to make a positive impact on our customers by building a quality tractor or wheel loader. At CNH Industrial, we're not just a company, we're a community that values our employees and their contributions. We are currently hiring general assemblers with a starting pay of $25.75 per hour, a $4,000 sign-on bonus, and a $5,000 relocation package. Apply at cnhindustrial.com.
Honda is introducing the all-new 2023 lineup with mind-blowing redesigned body styles. Is that right?
That's right. Stop by Corwin Honda today and see the new Pilots, the new Accords, HRVs, and CRVs with the most sleek, sophisticated, and innovative designs.
And these new models, I heard, bring in even more than that. What can we expect under the new designs?
These new models bring even more of what Honda is known for, so like the most advanced safety features and the state-of-the-art technology on the market.
And Justin, as always, you have a great selection to choose from, I bet.
Of course, Corwin Honda has over 55 incoming new redesigned units to choose from, and they're pre-selling quickly, so don't miss out.
You heard him. Honda is breaking new ground with all new redesigned units, and you can be the first to see, feel, drive, and take home the trailblazing new Pilots, Accords, HRVs, and CRVs. See what vehicle innovation looks like and experience the thrill of driving a brand new Honda at Corwin Honda. And you can check it out online at corwinauto.com. Stock is pre-selling quickly, so don't miss out.
Mama. Oh boy, has it been a long winter. And you deserve a girl's night out. It's a girl thing, presented by Neutral Vodka Seltzer and Advanced Med Spa. Is April 27th at the Holiday Inn. A night with over 15 different drink samples, a full style show, plus on-stage salon duo showing us the freshest cuts and colors for summer. And Advanced Med Spa with many ways to revitalize your look and your lifestyle. Thanks to Vance Thompson Vision, waxing the city and Essential Health Skin Renewal. Get your tickets now at itsagirlthingfargo.com.
Without a doubt, it's the toughest season to keep your car looking clean. It's wintertime. That's why you need to get the unlimited wash package from Tommy's Express Car Wash. They've got 4 locations around Fargo-Moorhead, so you know you're always close to one. And in less than a couple of minutes, you can get all of the salt and the grime and the yuck cleaned off your car. Plus, we're dragging stuff into our car with our boots in the winter, and that's why Tommy's Express always has free vacuums to use. Love your ride and sign up now at tommys-express.com.
Cashway's in growth mode. If you're an experienced mechanic or just starting your career and want to be with a great family-owned company, Cashway is the perfect place for you. With above-average hourly pay, exceptional benefits for singles and families, plus you want to work at a job you love, consider Cashway. Now's the perfect time to take a position where you're treated like family and look forward to each day. Find out more about the open positions at the April 11th job fair at the Cashway location in Fargo, 4101 15th Avenue North. Visit Cashway.com for all the details.
Hail the Bison right here, your home for NDSU sports. This is Bison 1660.
Last segment for you on the day. Here inside the Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Theraldson Ethanol produces 175 million gallons of ethanol per year and roughly 400 tons of livestock feed per year. You can fuel your future and join their growing team online at theraldsonethanol.com. Again, sign up for our Masters Golf giveaway. Your chance to win a free month at Golf Addiction's indoor virtual golf bar and grill. Just by signing up, picking the top 8 finishers at Augusta next weekend. We will have some hosts, or some guests on, I should say, the next couple of days as well later this week to talk about the Masters, give you a little insight, help you out a bit, and talk about all the great stuff they have going on there at Golf Addiction. But we will also have our Masters draft next week, and you can just follow along there. You can do the opposite of Todd and pick exactly the players me and Kyle pick.
I don't know. I mean, it might end up being a good strategy. I don't know, though. I don't know. It comes down to similar to March Madness. Like, if the Blue Bloods play really bad in golf, Yeah, you might want to go opposite of us, but if the best are playing well, I mean, we've got to assume most of us are going to take the best golfers. It's hard to pick that one-off guy. I mean, it's a field of around 90 players. It's hard to pick the guy that no one thinks and has a good round. It happens all the time, but it's hard to. It's just like picking a 15 seed. Well, you got to pick the right one. It's hard to do in golf.
You, as a hardcore golf aficionado, would you rather watch a Masters where on Saturday and Sunday, Rory and Spieth and all those names, Scheffler, Rahm, are all there at the leaderboard?
Yes,
or
that one.
Or one where the obscure guy is there.
No,
you don't like the underdog in golf.
It's not that I don't. It has nothing to do with that. It's just I like seeing the best players playing their best and then them going at each other. Hole for hole. It kind of turns into a little bit of match play, a little bit coming down the stretch. I love that. I have no problem if there's a guy that comes out of the woodwork and has. I mean, that's the thing about golf though. Like, you can't just have one good day, right? If you have one good day, fine, you're at the leaderboard, or you're at the top of the leaderboard after Thursday, great, but you have to do it 3 more days. And so if someone earns that right, absolutely, I have no problem with it. But if you're asking me if I had to pick, I want to see the best of the best going at it.
So let's say on Sunday, final pairing, they're both tied for the lead going in on Sunday.
Tiger and Rory. Yes, sign me up.
You've got Rory McIlroy as one of them, and I'm just going to scroll down, and you've got Andrew Putnam as the other.
That's fun too, though.
Who are you rooting for?
Well, I would probably root for Rory. I kind of want him to complete the Grand Slam. I think that would be a cool story for golf. It's only been done 4 or 5 times, but that's also fun if you have an established player like Rory McIlroy going against someone who's not, and how do they handle that pressure? How does Rory handle that pressure? Who can win? I mean, that's fun too.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch regardless. Yeah. I don't really care who's at the leaderboard. I'm watching.
Early on, the big pressure is probably on the underdog there, the guy who hasn't been there before. But it's kind of like basketball. The longer you stick around, you're still tied on 14 or 15. It's a one-stroke game. Now the pressure's on Rory.
The underdog kind of starts playing free. It's like, what? If I lose, I lost to one of the best players in the world. I can free up a little bit.
Supposed to be here anyways.
Yeah, Rory McIlroy's like, I got to complete the Grand Slam here. Like, I got a lot of pressure, and that's why I don't think he's going to win ultimately. I think this might it might be one of those things he never gets it done, because this is the last major he needs. Correct. Phil never got the U.S. Open. He got second like 5 times. I think there's always pressure at Augusta to try and close it off. It's got to be incredibly difficult to do, but now you add everything else, and he hasn't won a major since like 2014. I don't know if he can handle it. I don't know if he can.
Okay, there you go. Plenty more of that conversation later this week and next week. Tons of it there. But tomorrow we will be out at NDSU Pro Day from 10 to 1, so an extra hour of the Insiders. We'll talk about this plenty, obviously, tomorrow with you. But what are the guys going to be feeling like tomorrow when they wake up and as they go throughout that day and throughout Pro Day?
Yeah, it's a little bit like a game day, kind of. A little bit waking up. It's a little bit of that different feeling where you're a little bit nervous, anxious, but ultimately I think they're going to be excited. They're going to be excited for the finality of this, just finally checking off that last box, getting that last thing done before they can just finally relax a little bit and just have that feeling of knowing, okay, I've done everything I can. Hopefully you feel good about what you've done, and now I can just kind of sit back and see where the chips fall. You've done everything you can at this point. Now you just need that opportunity.
Do any sort of like warm up, get a little sweaty?
Oh yeah,
something
everything.
Going?
Yeah,
okay.
Got to have the sweatshirt on. Get that good sweat going out. Fortunately, the bubble was always cold, regardless. It didn't matter if the heat was going the entire time. It was always cold. So I think they'll be just fine inside the new indoor practice
the last couple
facility.
of years, they would do like the bench press and stuff back in the shack and then walk over to the bubble. I would guess they're going to do something similar.
Yeah,
maybe they bring it in because the weight room in the new indoor isn't ready yet. But
yeah, I would assume they're going to do the bench press. Like you said, they did that last year. They did the bench weigh-ins, maybe even the vertical, possibly inside, and then they made their way over to the bubble and did all the on-field drills. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm glad that we're going to be there to bring it all to our listeners.
Last couple of seconds, who's got, you think, the most to gain from Pro Day? I think Cody Mauch's pretty established where he is.
I wouldn't say Cody Mauch just because, like you said, I think he's done enough at this point with the Senior Bowl and with the Combine. You almost look at some of the guys who haven't had that opportunity maybe. I mean, the two, though, like Noah Gindorf and Hunter Lipke weren't able to do things. I think they can gain a lot if they can show they're back and healthy and put up some good numbers.
I agree with you. I think those two, and Some of the guys that didn't go to the combine haven't had any of those opportunities yet, like a Michael Tutsi, Dawson Weber, some of those guys as well. A lot to show and a lot to prove here at the Pro Day tomorrow. We'll be bringing that to you again 10 to 1 tomorrow on the program right here for you on Bison 1660. Big thanks to Jory Collins, also to Adam Hildebrand today for joining us. Lots of former Bison on the program tomorrow. Also, Sam Herder will join us as well, talking FCS storylines tomorrow on the program. Coming up next for you, though, it is The Herd with Colin Cowherd and Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for listening to The Insiders today. Back with you again tomorrow, 10 to 1.
Hi, I'm Grant Nelson, NDSU Bison basketball player. Whether it's playing basketball or driving in my car, I want to do everything to the best of my ability, on the court and off the court. So when I'm in the car, I up my game with the Drive for Less program from Nodak Insurance. I could save up to 30% on my premium just for driving safely. To me, that's a slam dunk. Download the Nodak Insurance app today.
Experience is what builds the future of glass at Cardinal IG in Fargo. Cardinal IG is leading the industry in the development of superior glass for the residential window industry. Their highly motivated and talented employees design and manufacture the best glass in the industry. This March, Cardinal IG would like to say thank you to Mike Arnson, who is celebrating 25 years. Karar Al Mandalawi, Majid Al Dulaimi, Nadaya Saba Claude, and Jarula Safi are all celebrating their first year at Cardinal IG. To view open positions or to apply, visit cardinalfargo.com.
With the rising threat of cybersecurity attacks, you need to ensure your business is fully protected. Data loss, ransomware attacks, and other breaches can disrupt your business and damage your reputation. Consolidated Communications Cloud Secure Service safeguards your business from these attacks by securing your network, data, and applications. We proactively monitor your security to prevent intrusions before they compromise your IT systems while protecting your staff in the office or when working remotely. Visit consolidatedcommunications.com/cloudsecure to protect your business.
You've seen the photos and heard the stories. WeFest is the party of the summer, and you're invited. See country music superstars like headliners Morgan Wallen, Brad Paisley, and Kane Brown. Plus many more. Tickets, camping, and a limited number of passes for the Bacardi Country Club are available at WeFest.com. WeFest, August 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll see you at the ranch.
Hey Bison Nation, Andy Reckoff here, and I just wanted to take a moment to say we absolutely love our Thoroldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Love being there every day to bring you the very latest with NDSU athletics, but we're not the only ones that like to be in the studio.
Michael Tutsi with us here live in studio. Scott Anderson joining us, Director of Multimedia, NDSU.
The athletic director's inside the studio. Matt Larson's joining us. I told you we weren't the only ones. Fuel your future and join the growing team at Thoroldson Ethanol today by going online to ThoroldSonEthanol.com.
It's the Cash for Cars event at Gateway Chevrolet. All makes, all models. Sell your ride today. Whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles, Gateway Chevrolet will buy it. Cars, trucks, and SUVs get cash today. Gateway Chevrolet needs good, clean, used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Sell your ride today, whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Gateway will buy it. The Cash for Cars buying event today at Gateway Chevrolet in Fargo.